Why? Bam, we're live. Good morning. Discombobulated. 100% my fault. Looked up and I was like, oh shit, it's about to be 7:01. Number 33 from the Tao Te Ching. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. If you realize you have enough, you are truly rich. If you stay in the center and embrace death with your whole heart, you will endure forever. Vindicate, Sevan, good morning. Hey, get your CEO shirts now. I'm excited to, I guess it's not a healthy part of me, but I really do like the shirt with the picture where I look like the Michelob guy, the world's most interesting guy on the shirt. I never thought I'd say it. The thought of me on someone's shirt kind of is repulsive, but when I saw those pictures Vindicate made, I was like, yeah, that's kind of dope. Jake Chapman, thanks for checking on me. Oh, I seem kind of tired. Thank you. You're such a good dude. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I'm so tired. I posted a picture the other day of Eric Rosa. Oh, it's unacceptable. Of Eric Rosa. Son of a bitch. Oh, fuck. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. I know my notes went up to 100, and now I'm looking at my computer, and they're only to 90. Why? Why can't I get this shit to sync? Oh, fuck. All my notes got erased. God damn it. Why is that happening? Why are all my drafts getting erased? My 10 most recent. Fuck it. I quit. No show today. I'm fucking done. The all beef diet is not going well. I've cheated all over the place. Yesterday I went in the backyard and I picked 100 cherry tomatoes. I brought them in the house. I threw them in a blender. My wife threw them in a blender, mixed them with garlic and mixed it with the beef. I took a sip of some smoothie my kids had. I ate a handful of pistachios. Yeah, it's but I will say this, I'm like 90% on the train, and I feel I have some real lulls in energy from just eating just meat, but I feel fucking great. My skin's getting taut. If that makes sense. My skin's getting like more taut. I'm so pissed. I had so much good shit lined up today. I am so fucking angry. I'm so bummed. I mean, I can wing it, of course, always. I need another plan. Yeah, I have these apple trees, Fanny Spiegel. I have these apple trees in the front yard, and I took a bite. I picked an apple. I saw a apple that was covered in like a worm had fucked it up, so I picked it and then I took a bite out of the healthy side. I've done some naughty things. But you know what? I'm really compassionate with myself. Like when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, okay, keep chugging along, keep trying. I'm not like fuck it, I'm gonna have a bag of Twizzlers today. I'm not like that. I'm really, I'm pretty compassionate with myself. I'm very compassionate with myself. It's good. Okay. I just can't get over it. I can't get over it. My last 10, I had 10 things. My show notes only go to 90. And when I was on the shitter this morning, I saw it went to 100. That means my last 10 things are gone, and they were so good. I was so excited about them. I want to show you this real quick. The lady who runs BIRTHFIT. I'm going to tell you the Rosa story. Don't let me forget about that post. It's pretty funny. The lady on with the baby on her chest right here, Lindsay Cantu. Vera Cantu made her entrance Earthside a month early, and a peaceful home birth surrounded by love and support and lots of prayers from all over. We will share our story soon, but for now we are hibernating and lying in. We have to give a huge hug and thank you to our birth team. I wonder if she'll tell that story on this podcast. I'd love to hear it. Good group. I knew Lance Cantu back in the day, like way back in the day, 2008, and she's married to him. And then I met her, and I didn't even know that they were like a couple. And then she's like, "Yeah, my dude's Lance." I think Lance served in the military. He's on the L1 team. He might still be on the L1 team. I don't know what he's up to. But supporter of the show, good people. I've always thought that they were great people. I think that there's people who do. I do agree with. I think I do agree with almost everything she says or thinks. But there are people that, like, even if you don't agree with them, you just know that they're doing good shit. Like that guy, the Seth. I don't know what his last name is, but that guy Seth that comes on the show and his whole life is to like educate people on abortion and that it's killing babies. It's like, I don't know if I agree with him, but fuck, what a great mission to have to stop people from killing babies. And Lindsay's is she, I mean, I see eye to eye with her 100% on this, but I don't want to put words in her mouth. Seth Gruber, thank you, Kyle. But she is a proponent of bringing babies into the world in the healthiest, most natural way ever to set the mother and father and baby up for success. Fuck the mother and father. Set the baby up for success. And I just love that. What a mission. What a mission. It's so good. It's so good. I just saw something the other day about probiotics, saying that probiotics are basically pointless. I don't know if this is true, but I like the idea of it. Probiotics are pointless, and that if you want to have a healthy gut, you have to eat the right foods to feed the probiotics you already have in your system, the bacteria you already have in your system. And so if you just take probiotics, they just pass right through the system if they have nothing to feed on and live in there. So you need to eat the right foods so that the bacteria or whatever probiotics are can live in you. It goes on to say that people who are born vaginally and breastfeed have by far the best start when it comes to gut health. Sevi, we want to send Audrey to Africa as a missionary for Mayhem and set up a box over there. Thoughts? Yeah, just Audrey's going to go to Africa and be a head coach at a random new box that spreads Christianity and CrossFit in Africa, and Mayhem's going to support it, and so Audrey's going to work there. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Totally cool with that. Probiotics don't eat McDonald's. I am not an expert on what they eat, but I think it was I think they were saying like fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds and legumes, shit like that is what they were saying. Oh, that person hung up. That sucks. I was trying to hook you up. Good excuse to set the phone up. Might as well start the phone number rolling. I'm gonna need help. Anyway, congratulations to if you do have to eat at McDonald's, just get a hamburger. Pickles, lettuce, tomato, please. Eat cheeseburger. Go big, go cheeseburger. Nothing else. Definitely no fries, no shake. Just one hamburger, simple hamburger. Maybe double cheeseburger. So that's cool. Having a baby's cool. Who else just had a baby? Someone else just had a baby. Did Taylor Self have a baby? No, he got married. Oh, Mary. Wow, look at this. Artificial probiotics are terrible for your gut. No shit, I didn't even know that. Vindicate, will she be wearing a Mayhem face mask? Are those still for sale on the site? I sent that to Rich. I'm like, what the fuck is this? He goes, from 2020. 2020. Okay. We're gonna get to Rosa. One more thing I want to show you guys that was in my notes that's gone. God, I'm fucking pissed. God, this sucks. I really don't want to be angry. In the whole show because of my idiocy, negativity. Don't want you guys to have to deal with it. Here we go. Ooh, I feel it. I feel it climbing around in my back. My negativity. I apologize. Here we go. A Wall Street weightlifter. God damn it, I had all this shit set up. I can't believe I fucking don't have it anymore. A Wall Street weightlifter. We know him. We're friends with him. Graciano Rubio. He's been on the show. Look at Los Baños City Council meeting. He's pissed. I want to know the details of this. He's not happy with the way the city is spending money.
Funds in a way that is explicitly not allowed based on the Treasury's written regulations. And now some members of the council are trying to provide cover for their wrongdoing. Until the city publishes the scoring system they use, they cannot say they are not discriminating against some businesses and favoring others.
So what it sounds like is the city is giving money, taxpayer money to businesses, and he wants to know how they're allocating it.
When you look at this list of grant recipients, you can see within 10 seconds why they don't want the public to see their scoring system.
Okay, now he's saying that there's some home cooking or some racist or sexist ideology or something, we don't know, I'm speculating, that was used in order to give the money, and it's really apparent as soon as you look at it. So like everyone on there, their last name ends in IAN or some shit. It's like, wow, it's only Armenians. He's saying there's something suspicious about the list. More than suspicious. He says it's obvious. And he wants to know how the fuck the Los Baños City Council is handing out that money. That city's like, I want to say it's like 50 miles south of me. 70? It's in the middle of nowhere.
The city has allocated funds in a way.
Anyway, I want to know the details. Details. Jay Hartle, Graciano for governor. I'd vote for him. I don't even need to know really anything more. Cave Astro. Embezzlement, Sevi. Embezzlement. Hey, no Jew comments. No Jew comments. More like their names end in Berg. No Jew, no anti-Semitism. By the way, there's other, there could be Steen also. Steen. Well, that brings us to, God damn it, I can't believe I lost my notes. That brings us to the next comment. You want to know what this, it's not even really a good picture, but I thought it was funny, and I'm kind of bummed it didn't get more love. Not kind of, I'm really bummed. This is a picture of Eric Rosa at the ranch. This was the guy that we were lied to that supposedly bought CrossFit but didn't. He misrepresented himself. He bought like maybe a small percentage of it. We don't even know the truth. And anyway, and he was a world-class douchebag on of the highest order. Moron. Sevi, did you see the Jew joke I sent you? No, I'd like to see it though. DMs are a crapshoot these days. Good morning, Bruce. Thumbnails are looking on point. Thank you. Slater, stop saying the Lord's name in vain. Okay, I'm gonna do my best. All right. Caller, hi. No, not hi. Hi. Caller, hi.
My shit. I'm horny as fuck. I'm a freak, man. Like,
Someone who is horny as fuck. Can you imagine you're in your car and he heard this thing? He's like, because it's a dude. It's not no girl would do this, right? And you're like, it's some black man saying, I'm horny as fuck. I'm a freak. And then you're like, ooh, I can't wait to call into the Sevan podcast and play that. And then I'm going to play it. And then I'm going to hang up. I know it was probably cool in your car and the thought was cool. Execution was horrible. Horrible. Disgusting. Okay. So this is Eric Rosa. This guy ended up firing me. Him and Andrew Weinstein fired me. Imagine having a chariot, buying a chariot, and then getting rid of your horses. That's what they did. Just Just world-class stupidity. I was at the skate park with my kids. Weinstein called me. It was the day that they were allowed to start firing people again because of some restrictions that were put on companies for firing people during the so-called pandemic. You guys have heard all this shit before. I was running the media department, fastest growing chain in world history. When they came in for the first 3 months, no one told me what my job would be. I basically removed myself from the leadership position and just started producing content, shitloads of content. I was the only person producing content. I produced more content in those last 3 months that I was there than I bet you anyone. I would bet any single fucking person there has produced since I've left combined. I'll give them all fucking the last 3 years. Put it up against anyone. Honestly. Someone called me yesterday who's working on the behind the scenes. We have a few people working on it. And they go, holy fuck. I go, what? They go, you are a fucking workhorse. It is unreal how much footage you got. I said, yeah. I'm not standing around in the back like the other people fucking shooting the shit with fucking Jared Stevens. I want to. There's the fucking guy who looks like a titan standing back there. Great opportunity to meet him. I'm not doing that. I see Chase Ingram walk by. I want to give him a big hug and talk to him. I don't do it. I'm too busy trying to figure out how I'm going to interview Max El-Haj and make it make sense. I'm too busy wondering whether Shane Orr is just so fucking uptight that he can't fucking he doesn't look human. He looks like a sphincter that shits diamonds, or if he just hates me and is vibing me to get away from him. I got my own shit to worry about. I'm getting content for you guys. You're gonna love it. I started watching the first episode last night. Oh my goodness. It's horrible. Completely horrible. You're gonna hate it. I mean. Anyway, this fucking dildo right here on the screen, Eric Rosa. Fuck, he had a great body. He was fit as shit. Him and Weinschnitzel. Guy didn't. Okay, here we go. I'm horny as fuck. Hello. Wait, hold on. Hello.
I'm 100% nigga. Nigga.
Oh my God, you're so funny. You're so funny. You're so funny. And don't fucking tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to do ever. Don't ever fucking tell me. Yeah, that is Eric Rosa calling. That's a good point. Thank you. Ever fucking tell me what to do, Robbie. I don't tell you what to do. Tell me what to do. You don't tell me what to do either. So the Weinstein calls me, fires my wife, both on the same day. Complete shambles. The media department ever since. I think the CrossFit Instagram put on, I think it's put on 30,000 or 20,000 followers in the last year. Dude, they should have put on 50,000 just during games week. What a mess it is over there. What a fucking shit show disaster. Ass Clown Central. Oh, they think they have one. They got their fucking fifth person now running. They got some new guy running the media department. I can't wait to hear shit about him. I fucking am willing to bet $1,000 that he's some fucking beta tech dork who doesn't know shit about media. I'm just so willing to bet that. But maybe I'm wrong. What I'm not wrong about is I'm 1,000 times better than him. Just straight up. Just, it is. Oh, you think that was the Lone Ranger and Tonto calling in? I don't know. it's not what I liked it. It adds to the show. Someone should accuse. I would rather someone accuse me than it being the Lone Ranger and Tonto. that it be someone that I told to call in. You know what I mean? Like I staged that. I know that song too. I used to listen to that song as a kid. Is it who was it? That's not NWA, is it? Who was that? I used to listen to that song as a kid. My dad would say to me, my dad would hear the music I listened to, and he would be like, dude, someday you're going to be older and you're going to have to be like, you're going to look at the music you listen to and be like, what the fuck was I listening to? And he's kind of right. I'm kind of getting to that age. I had a chat with text chat with very friendly text chat with Adler. I'll leave it at that. No, Johnny, would you ever accept a media position? I don't think so. Yeah, I would consult them. I could unfuck them. I would go. What I'm gonna do for Athena, I would do for them for fucking $50,000 probably. I would unfuck them. Honestly, I'm gonna get Dave in here and honestly ask him like why they don't pay me 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or $100,000 to start making them content. They're fucking crazy. I just don't like they know, people there know, like the behind the scenes is gonna come out and it's gonna be great for everyone. Everyone's gonna love it. Even the people who don't like it are gonna love it. They're gonna be like, oh my God, did he call that lady a girl? What a sexist douche. Like it's gonna be. It's so good. It's so cool. You're going to see how cool Dawn is. You're going to see how cool Dave is, how cool Bill and Katie are, how cool all the athletes are, how hard they work. The volunteers are in there, all that cheese dick shit. I love the volunteers. They do so much for me. I'm so impressed by the adaptive. I don't know if I have any adaptive. Oh, I think I talked to, I think there's a guy who actually worked for CrossFit who's actually, he's cool as shit. His name's Tom. I don't know if he works for CrossFit or ESPN or what, but there was a dude there in a wheelchair. He's in it. He's like a on-screen commentator or something. That dude was cool as shit. Yeah, CrossFit's gonna love it. It was so good back there. The games were amazing. Everyone was fucking 99% of everyone was great. The thing is this too. Anyway, relative to just open society, the CrossFit games are perfect. I mean, it's open society. There's just douchebags everywhere. Not at the games. Andrew Hiller, I agree. They suck. Yeah, it's so bad. The media is so bad. There's this. Oh shit! I don't have a link to this either. Okay, let me finish this, and then I want to tell you. Well, no, I'm not going to finish this. There is that that Quiver Instagram account where I pull it up sometimes. I don't even know what the name of it is, but basically they give stock advice. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? They give stock advice. Let me see if I can find it. Quiver or something? Who knows the name of it? I'm never gonna find this shit. I'm never gonna find it. But anyway, and then there's a famous guy on CNN or MSNBC or one of those stations that gives stock advice. And basically, this Instagram account was showing that if you followed the opposite of everything that this guy gave stock advice on MSNBC, you would get 642% on your returns. That's what the CrossFit Games media is like. Like if they just would have done the opposite of everything that they were supposed to do, then they'd be killing it. No. The music bit's over. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. Live from Detroit. That's where this person's calling from, Detroit. Graciano Rubio, I'll call in after I drop off the kids. That's code for he's taking his shit. Just so you know. That's code for he's taking his shit. Okay. Back to Eric Rose. So this is at the ranch. He's doing an interview here with someone, and the person who's interviewing him told him, hey, can you step back a little further? Can you step back a little further? Can you step back a little further? And he tripped and fell and started rolling down this hill. No shit. Now, that picture is photoshopped. That picture is photoshopped, but it really did happen, and it was fucking ridiculous. So he's there doing an interview, and the person's like, "Hey, back up, back up, back up." And fuck, dude, he started rolling down. He started rolling down that hill. This ding dong. Facts. Facts, facts, facts. That's not true. I don't know if I'm unviable. Oh, what was I thinking the other day? Oh, speaking of unviable. Let me show you this. You want to see a fucking crazy back on someone? Look at this back on this girl. This is the Swolverine chick we had on. This Alex Best, Alex with an I. Look at this back. Are you kidding me? How do you not want to touch that? It's like a Jolly Rancher or Starburst or something. I could smell her. That is a crazy back. And you know what? You know what's a damn shame? I bet you no one went up behind her and felt that. Like, I bet you that day, like, how you should go up behind that and hold those. Right? Isn't that's what those are for? As she contracts that lat, go up behind her and just hold them. I held my wife's lats last night. No shit, I did. Like this. We weren't standing, but I held them. Then they weren't contracting. My wife has crazy lats. But Alex's are crazy thick. It's nuts. It's nuts. Fucking congratulations. It's a fucking awesome body. I probably should say some mean things about her too here. Let's not let her off the hook. So she was on the show, and I was like, "Hey, as I dig through your Instagram, I can't even tell that you sell Swolverine, right? I can't even tell like she sells Swolverine. There's nothing on here." And so she makes this post over here where it shows her peddling her wares, right? The real Sevan called me out. I didn't call you out. I mean, I didn't mean to call you out. Like I was just like, hey, when I go, I didn't mean it. I meant nothing by it by saying that I don't see that you sell Swolverine, except for the fact I just don't see it on your account. That's it. I didn't mean it was like a good thing or bad thing. I thought she'd be like, yeah, I like to keep the two separate, or she was going to say something like that, right? And so I was just like, okay, so dude, this is the last time I'm gonna answer, and then I'm gonna block your number unless you got a new bit. Hi, caller. Don't make me block your number. Just reduce your calls to like one a show, please. One something really crass per show. You know what I mean? You get some racial slurs in there. That's fun. You could get some 2 Live Crew. Ooh, I want to eat your pussy. You could get that maybe. Some Eazy-E. I put my hand down her pants and the bitch had a dick. Remember that line from Eazy-E? NWA. You could, but that's enough. No more. I don't want to block your number. You're fun. I don't want to. Okay, where Swolverine. But here's the thing. Like that's too overt. It's too overt. Like I don't like the tongue out either. I don't like girls putting their tongue out. When I see a girl put her tongue out like that and the peace symbol, all that stuff, I just think, oh, you're hot, but you're uncomfortable with how hot you are, so you do that. I don't like the tongue out. I think it's a weird reaction. But I will take, I do need some more of the stuff, the hydration formula and the pre-workout. I'm running low. And but the creatine I have plenty of. Thank you. Anyway, here's what I'm thinking. Right here on your back, just put a Swolverine tattoo. It doesn't have to be a permanent one, just like those ones that my kids wear. Or right here in this fucking goddamn, you look like you fell from the heavens picture. How about just a those things that like Lance Armstrong wears on his wrist, that the yellow thing. Instead, you have one that's like the Swolverine color, the blue. You feel me? Cheap, easy. Surfboard here. Before you post this, have someone on your team Photoshop the Swolverine emblem where that circle is. That's all I'm saying, girl. Nothing crazy. This right here, you can have someone Photoshop Swolverine in the sand back here at Burning Man. This right here, lots of creative places to put the Swolverine. Lots of creative places. A helicopter flying by in the foreground to draw attention away from the other stuff that says the Swolverine. An airplane flying by with, oh, yes, Alex, right here. Look at an airplane flying by with one of those cheesy banners that says that they pull behind, and it says Swolverine, and the caption you say, "Don't you hate it when advertising ruins beautiful scenes?" Like, you know what I mean? And the beautiful scenes, the water and the Lake Tahoe beach, and maybe your ass and your back. If people are into that. Right here, Swolverine socks. Swolverine socks. You feel me? Not those socks. Oh, you do have the shirt on. That's good. Okay, I like it. All right, that's enough. Oh, this is good. If you oh, okay. Juggle. Yeah. Juggle, monkey, juggle. Oh, yeah, I like it. All right. All right. There you go. Now you know I'm the best. Graciano said he might call in and explain what happened. That would be cool. Well, Sean Lenderman, 50K is nothing to me. It's for a weekend's worth of work. It's for 2 days' work. It would just be Saturday and Sunday. Here's the thing. If I charge them more than 50 grand for 2 days, basically I have to think of it like this. Are they going to sell 50 L1s? And then of those 50 L1s, are 5 of the people then going to open seminars? And the answer is yes. 100%. And then they can reuse that material over and over and over. In all fairness, I haven't even proposed this to Dave, and he's running the training department. I think they're a fucking disjointed mess over there, though. I don't think that he used to, when I worked there, he used to be able to, him or Nicole could just call me and be like, hey, Sevan, I'd be like, hey, what's up? We need some videos of squatting videos. We have a new L2 coming out, or we're having issues. You know, we want to sell L1s in Africa, and whatever. They would just tell me what they wanted, and I would just do it. Judy Reed, Athena is a boss. She has your back like no other. Well, that's cool. Thank you. I don't know what she did, but yeah, I mean, we're homies. I'm gonna see her. I haven't. I told you guys on the show I hadn't seen her in forever, but then she called me. She's like, "Hey, ding dong, I just saw you at blah 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 at Broken Science." I was like, "Oh yeah." I'm going up here to Diablo CrossFit, September 30th, 2023. By the way, Jorge Ventura is coming on at 8:00. Scaled Nation is putting on an event at Diablo CrossFit, Craig Howard's gym, September 30th. I'll be filming 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'll probably get there like at 7 a.m. and freaking out, charging batteries that are already been charged all night, quadruple checking cables and audio like I always do. My OCD will kick in. I'm pumped. Anyone can register. You just go here to the site and register. There you go. Increase coaches' education on obesity, build further understanding of large bodies by addressing common concerns from athletes' perspective to empower and support individuals affected by obesity. Understand the gym's growth opportunity with larger body demographic and how to implement it. Cha-ching, how to make money. Ensure the gym can effectively accommodate the larger body athlete. Coaches know the equipment and available resources. Improve coaching skills by creating a continuum of small wins. I like that. Building confidence in athletes and developing a more robust gym culture. That's what I'm doing with my meat thing. It's just small wins. I'm just not doing anything stupid. Today I'm gonna go hard again. Try to just only eat steak. Have increased confidence, knowledge, and creativity in scaling and progressions options specific to larger bodies. Yeah, it's cool. This is awesome. I'm gonna learn a shitload, and I'm gonna get to do it for free, pretending like I'm filming. Okay, BIRTHFIT Lady Swolverine. I lost my fucking notes. Athena seminar. 8 sleep. Okay. God, this is such bullshit. Where Where's? Okay, here we go. I don't even know what this is. Don't do it. Caller hi. Oh, now I have to block you. 9455. What if I just gave out your number on the air so everyone could call you? Do you want me to do that? Share contact, create new contact, add to existing contacts. Oh, block this caller. Sorry, dude. It was just too much. I don't mind, I don't mind a little insensitivity, but gratuitous insensitivity is kind of stupid. Has to be fun.
California is considering stopping physical fitness tests in schools over concerns they lead to bullying and body shaming. So good job getting gym canceled, you fat loser.
My goodness. I think this is that bit where Saturday Night Live. Doesn't one guy write the jokes for the other guy? And that's supposed to be why they can get away with saying stuff. My poor notes. I think this is, who is this? Is this Gutfield? Will there be a RFK Junior Vivek alliance? I don't think so. I don't think RFK is ready for someone as real as Vivek. Here we go.
Mentioned the fact that he said something about single mothers during the debate.
Part of the problem is we also have a federal government that pays single women more not to have a man in the house than to have a man in the house, contributing to an epidemic of fatherlessness.
What did you mean by that?
It's important that they have at least parity with married. I understand that we want to create incentives for people keeping people in marriages, but if you're penalizing people financially, single mothers for not staying in abusive marriages, it's not a good thing for anybody.
Hey, so you see what they did there? They go right. It's the same thing when people say to me, but Sevan, there are intersex people. Yeah, that doesn't mean that it gets destroyed for everyone else. Someone's bringing up the fact that, like, hey, you're rewarding men and women for separating and for getting a divorce. You're rewarding them for that. Let's stop doing that. And instead of being like, I agree, you immediately go to, but there's women out there being abused in marriages, and we can't force them to stay in those marriages. Like, dude, different subject, bring up some other time. The whole one rotten apple shouldn't sink the whole fucking ship. There are kids out there that are really fucking smart, who could do a lot of really good shit, who need opportunities that maybe other kids don't need, but to rework the whole system to try to find those diamonds in the rough at the cost of a successful system is complete idiocy. It's exactly the same thing what happened with COVID, right? You have really, really unhealthy people, and it's a shame, and we should try to protect them, not at the cost of the whole system. You don't shut down all of society. You do not. You don't do anything to hurt 3-year-old Cindy or 2-year-old Bobby to help 82-year-old grandma. Never. And that was done with every single policy that was put into place. That was done. And you should hear every day. I hear dumb shit from parents somewhere in regards to that. Oh, my kid's not fully social. Oh, this might be the same guy. Let's see. I might have to block this dude too.
Nigger.
Another Michigan number. Okay, let's see. Go here. I think I'm getting ready to start giving out your phone number, just so you know, on the screen. And just run it the whole time and let people call you back. Would you like that? You want to do that game? You guys want to do that game where I give their number out and you call them?
state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Ah, Google Voice. I see.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
This is Blake Townsend.
Yep, put it on the air, pussy. You won't do it. Put it on the air, pussy.
Hi, could I speak to your mom, please?
Put it on the air, pussy.
Can I speak to your mom, please?
Hey, shut the fuck up!
Hey, tell me how... The guy who calls me a pussy can't stay on the line with me. Okay. Okay, where are we? Caved Astro, I like this guy. He's cool. Cool enough. Where were we? Yeah, it's crazy. I just saw a great I had another great video in regards to this subject too in my notes. You guys deserve better. You really deserve better. If you're getting beaten, get out of the relationship. If you're getting beaten, please get out of the relationship. Do not stay in a relationship where you're getting beaten. So many of you sent me this clip. This is pretty amazing. I'd love to get this guy on the show. I'm fascinated by this car. It's a custom car that's built to transport cattle. Look at this.
Man driving eastbound on 275 with a Watusi bull in his passenger seat.
The officers received a call reference a car driving into town that had a cow in it. They thought that it was going to be, like a calf, something.
You see that? Look at that thing. He cut the roof off of the passenger side of that car and put in. I don't know what that is. That can't just be your standard cow. Look at those horns. He said it's a Watusi. A Watusi cow. I got to get the guy on the. Who knows this guy? How can I get this guy on the show? The driver. Crazy, right? Hey, I don't know much about cows either, but he doesn't need a place to sit. He's just going to stand there the whole time like that.
Smaller, something that actually fit inside the vehicle.
And the vehicle was big enough. Well, technically.
As a result, the officer performed a traffic stop and addressed some traffic violation.
Put my number on the.
That is some conviction. Okay, where were we?
That were occurring with that particular situation.
The occupant of the vehicle was identified as Lee Meyer of Neely. The Watusi bull's name was Howdy Doody. He was immediately pulled over by Norfolk police and they performed a routine traffic stop.
The officer wrote him some warnings.
This part is just stupid.
Some citable issues with that situation. The officer chose to write him a warning and ask him to take the animal back home.
Like, obviously, either the guy's crazy or it's just a gimmick and it was fun. And like, you just tell him to go back home and it's chill, right?
And to leave.
But what's crazy is we never find out what the true plan was. Like, how about where was he going? So, my buddy wanted to build a second floor in his house, and he lives out in the middle of nowhere. I told you about this. And the city said, hey, why do you want to build a second floor in your house? And it's like, hey, it's none of your fucking business. Well, yesterday I went to go get passports for my kids at the post office. The guy was cool as shit. Took an hour and 10 minutes for me and my wife to renew our passports and for my kids to get their passports. We took one guy. Imagine the efficiency at the U.S. Post Office. It took one guy an hour and 10 minutes spending time with us to get our passports. And my wife came there prepared with all the applications and all that shit filled out. The one thing we didn't do correctly is it was $819 to get passports for all of us, and that wasn't even to get them expedited. And my wife didn't bring cash or check. She only brought credit card, so an ATM card. So we had to, the only thing it took about an extra 2 minutes that we had to buy money orders there, and then with those money orders, then pay for our passports. But the guy told us when we were doing it that part of their job is to find out why we want passports, because especially if we have kids there, because that they're told in their job that they should be looking out for the kids in case someone's trying to like take the kids or something. I'm like, and he said people will do that. Postal workers will like not like the people or be suspicious, and they'll just push you away. He also told us if there was when my wife made the appointment at the post office for us to get our passport, she wrote that there were 4 of us, and there were 5 of us, 3 kids and 2 adults. And he said that he has coworkers that would have told us, "Hey, come back some other time. You put the wrong number of people in the meeting." But basically, he said that, yeah, we have the right to like tell you, hey, you can't get a passport because you have we don't like the way you're treating your kids, or we're suspicious that you're trying to take your kids out of the country illegally, shit like that. Fucking nuts, right? All right. Didn't you block this retard? Yeah, but he's using Google Voice, and he's somehow, I don't know how it works, but he's just sifting through numbers now. He keeps just pulling up through different numbers. But it's okay. I'm fine with it. Like I kind of like it. Gives me something to do. I added onto my house and never got a permit. Code enforcement never showed up. But about a month later, I got a citation because my grass was too tall. Awesome. I told you what happened. We remodeled the house, and they told us if we used 2x4s in the remodel, it was inside the walls. If we rebuilt the walls. Caller, hi. Hi.
What's up, Sevan? It's Graciano.
Hey, what's up, dude? Thanks for the call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, it looks like you're getting down and dirty with the city. Are they wasting your money?
Oh, they're beyond wasting money. They're way beyond that.
I'd love to hear the story.
All right, I'll start off at the beginning of it. I'll give you the condensed version. Send me your email on Instagram. I got the whole thing typed out with all the supporting documentation. So if anyone wants to do some kind of investigative journaling, then it's all laid out. This one's an alley-oop. You just got to come in for the dunk.
Hey, have you sent it to James O'Keefe? Have you sent it to James O'Keefe?
No, I haven't.
Okay. You got to.
I'm not really in that whole world.
Okay.
This is something that affects me, so I'm not going to sit by and just let them run the community like this. So I'll start off, there was the American Rescue Plan Act, where, to give you the short version of that, they basically paid off everyone who shut down their city. They said, hey, thanks for destroying your economy. Here's some money. And the premise of it was, we're going to give cities this money, and it's supposed to be for public health and to mitigate the damage of the shutdown. So the city got $10 million. And
the city of Los Baños.
Yeah, they got $10 million. Mm-hmm. And their tax revenue from 2020, 2021, 2022 went up. So they weren't impacted by COVID. They actually made more money. Plus, they shut down City Hall for most of that time. They were all working remotely. So their expenses went down. They're just hanging out at home collecting paychecks. So they're actually better off because of COVID. Now, they think that it's fair for the city to keep 90% of that money and for businesses to get 10% of this. That's what they think is a fair split. Now, I have a hard time thinking that the city had 90% of the impact of COVID.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, like from a starting point, they're in the wrong on that.
What does that mean? What does that mean they took 90%? I mean, they gave the money to their employees there, or they bought new furniture for City Hall? What does that mean they took 90%?
Well, they gave, I think, 1.75 million as bonuses to city employees.
Wow.
And they're using the rest of the money for this long wish list of items that they've wanted forever. So one of those is they have money allocated for pickleball courts. They're going to build pickleball courts in the nicest part of town as a way of, investing in the community. Now, of that $1 million, and this is something that you're not going to believe. So you're going to have to Google the RAD card. The city decided to give that $1 million by way of the RAD card.
RAD?
The RAD card
RAD?
RAD. Yep. Is you download an app, you load your money onto it, the city will match those funds, and then you can spend it at a local business. So they're trying to get people to spend their money locally. Well, you can do some basic math here. If they got $1 million and they're only going to match $100, well, that means you need 10,000 people to use this app.
Okay.
The town's only got 20,000 adults.
Oh, shit.
So
shit.
Some genius thinks, hey, we're going to get 50% of the adult population to download this app, load their credit card information, which when you load your credit card, your bank sends you a text message saying, hey, this is potentially fraudulent. And then spend it locally. So right off the bat, you're like, well, this is going to fail. Why don't you guys talk to anyone who uses an app for their business? You're not getting 50% of the population to do this. So that program fails right on its face. And there's other parts of it which were fraudulent and just a total mess. But if you look at it and think,
yes,
governments in California are, they could not give away free money. And if you tell people that, they think that's impossible. There's no way that they couldn't do that. But they found a way to fail at giving away free money. So with the remaining money, they decide, hey, we're going to do this grant program and just give these businesses money directly instead of this moronic, roundabout way. So they write the rules for this program in a way so that no business qualifies. And then when no one applies, they get discretion over who they want to give the money to.
Oh, hey, can you tell me what it was that made it so that they couldn't that no one could no one could jump through? Do you know?
Well, right off the bat, they said, well, we're going to do this tiered system of eligibility. One of the tiers was you had to be fully shut down for 6 months, which nobody was fully shut down for 6 months. I'm not going to say only, we were shut down fully for 3 months. And then we had to work out in the parking lot. Then we had to do this and that. Then there was capacity restraints. So they know no one was fully shut down for 6 months. We were shut down for 3 months. And then for 12 months, we had to go through a series of hoops and nonsense between working out outside and all this other junk where, yes, we were fully shut down, cannot use our building whatsoever for 3 months. Then we have 12 months of nonsense going on that we can partially use the building. So when I look at the rules, I go, well, that's irrelevant. You guys know no one was shut down for 6 months straight. Why would you even put that on the guidelines? Then the other one was you had to have a loss of revenue of 50%. That was their top tier. It was going to get biggest priority. Well, if you had a loss of revenue of 50%, you're not around anymore. How can you possibly put that? No one's going to survive a 50% drop of revenue.
Right.
So right off the bat, right when I saw it, I said, well, this is going to be a fraudulent program. No one's going to apply. Or if they do apply, they don't qualify under these guidelines. And then they're going to make up some nonsense about why they could give it away to their buddies. So I knew that right at the beginning. And you can tell that in like 10 seconds. So we apply.
We being who?
The gym.
Okay.
My gym applies.
Okay.
We get 60% of the maximum amount. Now, the city has to publish their check register for all the city council meetings. So I already know who got money. So applications close. They say, hey, this is the money you're going to get. And I'm looking at this list saying, hold on. How can you possibly give these people the maximum amount and not the gyms? Because we weren't the only gym that didn't get the maximum amount. How can you possibly do that when nobody was more shut down than us? No one had to go through what the gyms had to go through.
Uh-huh.
So
because Baskin Robbins and McDonald's were open the whole fucking time.
Correct. Now, I said, you know what? I know how the city operates with their retaliation and their nonsense.
Yeah.
So I wait and say, let me make sure I get the check and cash it first. Then I'm going to start asking questions. So I get that check, I cash it, I send them an email saying, hey, what was the criteria that you used? Because I'm not understanding how these businesses, some of which were deemed essential, received the maximum amount, and yet the businesses which were the most shut down didn't receive that. So they email me back and say, well, it was based on loss of revenue, which is a complete lie. So I knew that some nonprofits had received this COVID money, and nonprofits have public tax returns. So I go download the tax return, I email it to them, and I say, well, they received more money and they had no loss of revenue. They, from 2019 all the way through 2021, they had the same revenue, they had the same expenses, they had no impact whatsoever from COVID, and they have no employees. So they come back to me and say, well, it's because they're in a qualified census tract. And for people who don't know what that is, that's the politically correct term for low-income neighborhood. We do the census every 10 years. If you think of a zip code, they break a zip code down into smaller areas so that you have a better idea of what that particular part of town looks like.
And by the way, the business you're trying to help is a CrossFit gym, right?
Correct.
Yep.
And another powerlifting gym and an MMA gym.
Oh, and a what? What was the third thing you said?
An MMA gym.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
They screwed all the gyms.
Okay.
So they send me back saying, hey, it's because they're in a qualified census tract. So I download the map of the only qualified census tract in town. And I email it back and I say, well, we're also in a qualified census tract as well. In fact, we're in the exact same qualified census tract as this organization, which received more money than us. So that was line number 2. And now at this point, you would think they stopped digging their hole and realize, like, oh man, maybe we shouldn't treat this guy like a dumb meathead that doesn't know shit. So then they come back and say, well, technically you're correct. But on their application, they applied for facade improvements, which qualifies under the category of disproportionately impacted. And you guys applied for, rent reimbursement and these other things, which falls under the category of economically impacted. And so they got higher priority. And I said, well, okay, hold on a second. You're telling me the most shut down business in town, which applied for expenses that they incurred directly related to COVID, is a lower priority than a nonprofit that employs no people, that had no economic impact from COVID, who applied for painting their building, that's a higher priority. At which point they quit responding to me. Now, I then
Graciano, hey, I apologize. I do want to hear the end of this story, but my guest is here, Jorge Ventura, my 8 a.m. guest. But I do appreciate.
All right, hey,
I do appreciate.
Send me the
details.
email.
Yeah,
I got the whole thing documented.
Okay, thank you. And hey, thanks for doing that. Thanks for pushing back against the city.
Hey, absolutely. Thanks,
man.
Juan.
All right, bye. Throwing your money away. Hey.
What's good, man? It's good to see you.
Good to see you too. You're chill. You're chill. I like it. I needed some chill in my life. I got a passionate crank caller, and I lost my show notes this morning.
Awesome. No, man, it's good to be back. You know, it's funny, man. Your listeners are some of the best because, like, every month I get DMs from them saying, "When am I going to come back on the pod?" So that's a good sign. That's a good sign. Or like I'll drop I'll post a report or something, and they're always like, "When are you going to come back on the pod?" So that's a good sign. That's a good sign.
Awesome. Well, you've always been good to us. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. Where are you right now? Are you in a hotel somewhere?
No, man. Actually, I just got back from Atlanta, back home here in California. So really happy for that. No matter where I travel, where I go, I know everyone wants to shit on California because of the laws and blah, blah, blah. California is still the damn best. I don't care what anyone says. We still got the best weather. I just love being back home. There's nothing like California still.
I get that a lot too. Hey, dude, why aren't you leaving? Why aren't you leaving? It's like, dude, I mean, I know, yes, I'm surrounded by some zombies and a lot of idiots, but like I can find my way through the mess. It's so beautiful.
And there's still a solid tribe here. You know, you're still guys like you and me. So I love being back home. I traveled to Texas. I like Texas, but it's humid. I've been in Atlanta a lot lately because that's where my job relocated me. It's humid. It's just not the same. California is still the best. I've been really heavy into going to just to kind of decompress, going to comedy shows, and I live by LA. So it's awesome because like it could be like a random weekday like Tuesday, you can still see someone big time like Tim Dillon or someone like that. So I don't know, man. California's still the best to me. I'm not going anywhere.
I didn't know you had a job. I thought you were 100% freelance. What's up with you? Where are you working?
Oh yeah, so I'm not sure when. I forgot when's the last time we talked, but I signed on with News Nation back in February. They're a new startup. They are cable TV, so they're trying to compete with CNN and Fox. What I like about News Nation is before I signed on, I've been going on the network for about a whole year before I came on. So when I was with the Daily Caller doing the digital media stuff, they've been having me on. And what I like about them is they're not trying to appeal to Democrats or Republicans. They're just trying to be like the straight news folks and just being like, hey, you decide the news. We're not going to tell you what to think. So I think it just made sense. It was such a good fit. And it was the right time for me. It was the right time for me to take that new challenge. So came on with them in February, and right away, actually, my first week of work, they sent me to East Palestine. If you guys remember the whole East Palestine train derailment debacle. So I got to cover that, which was great. And then immediately after that, if you guys remember, 4 Americans got kidnapped in Matamoros, Mexico, and they sent me straight to Matamoros. So we were in the trenches literally in my first 2 weeks. We were actually the only American news outlet in Matamoros, Mexico, because the other news outlets were too scared to send journalists in. And I really like that they just gave me the full trust to go in there. We got to tell some powerful stories, and we were the only Americans on that side.
Yeah. So is that when they hire you, do they tell you, hey, you're going to be our specialist with narcotics and border crossings? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. So what they really enjoyed from my
I didn't mean to pigeonhole you either. Sorry, but
No.
I know those are 2 of your specialties.
Yeah, that's really my lane, and that's where I like to stay. So I like to do anything anything involving drugs and crime. I'm not that guy, to be honest. Like how recently we just had hurricanes. I'm not that guy. I don't want to be out there being like, hey, it's windy out here, and there's a lot of that's not my style. I want to be doing the dirty work. I want to be doing the stuff that other guys are really afraid to do. So it was a perfect timing because I don't think they had any reporter that wanted to go to Matamoros, Mexico, especially with the whole cartel kidnapping of Americans. But I was like, yo, I'm ready to go. I've been doing this for a while. I know what to do. And yeah, it's just been a perfect fit.
And you were also, as we know from previous visits you've made on the show, you were very close to the Rittenhouse case. You were out there just blocks away as all that shit was going down. And so that would fall under not necessarily a narcotics or border, but crime.
Like civil unrest, I would say. I think it's safe to say I'm an expert in reporting in like civil unrest, those kind of crazy, chaotic moments that maybe for other reporters it brings a lot of stress to because you have to watch your back. There's just a lot of commotion going on. And I did that as an intern. You know, I covered all of the riots just as an intern straight out of college. So I feel really comfortable. So like right now, if there's a big riot in like Europe or something, I think I'm the guy to go.
Hey, any rules on what you can and can't post on your Instagram from News Nation now that you're working for someone?
As of right now, no. I've been given total freedom. If you could even if you follow me, you guys know like on my Insta story, I always post articles that I always find interesting. So I haven't changed up anything. Which
so they're not censoring you at all. You're a perfect fit.
Yeah, it's just been a perfect. And the reason why is because for a whole year I've been going on the network before I even signed on. So they've already know the style. The first time I came on their network was, if you guys remember, in the end of 2021 when those 15,000 Haitians came under the bridge and it was, oh my God, it was freaking chaos. So that was my first time on the show. So they know my style. It's really what I would say run and gun, not the traditional journalist. Like right there, I'm with News Nation. I'm in Mexico here. We're in Ciudad Juarez. And that was in May. That was the end of Title 42. It was that whole commotion of all these migrants coming down. So it's been a perfect fit. They really let me cover the cartel stuff. I actually just did a piece for them about 2 months ago where we did the illegal marijuana, but we did it with Riverside County, which they were really great. And we have some more actually coming up. We're looking at Oakland. Oakland is one of those cities where crime is going crazy right now.
Yeah.
So it's been awesome, man. And it's also good for me. You know, I'm 28 years old. I needed that kind of that national TV experience. So now I get to call myself like a national correspondent for a huge network. So it's just been a great fit. And I'm just, focusing on developing right now, in the journalism years, I'm still a baby, if that makes sense. So learning a lot. And, now I get to actually, the big difference from the Daily Caller days to now is Daily Caller was it was just literally all by myself in a little tripod. And then I would hire a friend to carry the tripod. Now I got a real cameraman, professional cameraman. I got a producers. We got the equipment. We got the staff.
Is that holding you back at all? Like that may sound all good and dandy, but is that holding you back at all? Are there times when you're like, fuck, I just need my guy and we need to run back here?
There is a little bit of that, just because it's more kind of scheduled out.
Cumbersome, right? Yeah, scheduled, cumbersome, more equipment.
I'm more ready to I could just go now. So there is that, but I think that for me, I needed the team and the staff and that like professional look and just having like a real cameraman that is willing to go in the trenches. So it's been great. Like when I went to Matamoros, I actually got to work with a producer who's like covered wars before. The cameraman was very experienced, and we were in there just, we were running all over Matamoros, Mexico, just dominating the coverage during the cartel time. And like I said, no American at that time, no American outlet didn't want to go in. They thought it was too dangerous. We thought it was the opposite. In the ending of Title 42, we were the only Americans to go to Ciudad Juarez because that time was a little bit sketchy with smugglers. So I tried to tell them, I said, hey guys, whatever you think of, the conventional journalists, I'm not that guy. Because basically most of their correspondents, they've been signed on from doing really good on local TV. I don't come from local TV. I come from the digital game, really raw type of game. So I feel like I'm a right fit because I bring something different to the table that they didn't have before.
The clock says compared to the New York Times journalist, you're a real veteran. That's true. They have it feels like they got a bunch of 22-year-old ding dongs over there. boy, the New York Times is
Oh
fucking
yeah, and
turned into a
those ding dongs
shithole.
are probably on their laptops in Manhattan with air conditioning, and probably have never stepped out of that and interviewed real people.
No, they have not. They're not even telling the news anymore. They just have an agenda.
Oh yeah, and then one thing, Sam, I just wanted to point out, like
Please.
one thing that I like that what we did at News Nation that's just I could already tell was different was anytime Trump would take a speech, you know, when he does like a live speech, our network takes it, and that takes it as in like we like this guy, we're gonna take it. We take it as in, hey, we're taking the speech because he is a presidential candidate, he is leading the Republican Party, and it's up for the voters to think for themselves. If you watch CNN, Trump takes a speech. The anchor always goes, "Oh yeah, we're not taking that because he's gonna say a bunch of lies." MSNBC, we're not taking that because he's saying a bunch of lies. They're doing it now with RFK Jr. We recently just had a town hall with RFK Jr. So we're doing the opposite because our approach is more let the voters think. Like we're not smarter than the voters. And who are we to be like to dictate this whole thing? Let the voters decide. Let them hear the ideas. If they like them, they like them. If they don't, they don't. That's simple as that.
I hear you. I don't want to undermine what you're saying. All of that being said, the Democrats have turned into a party of censorship, big pharma, and it's pretty bad.
It's like the opposite flip, right? They're like pro-war now. They support the proxy war in Ukraine.
Yeah. When I was a kid, it was the exact opposite. Democrats were like freedom of speech. Yeah, do acid and run around naked. It's freedom, freedom, freedom. And now it's like it's the complete. They've completely lost their minds. And so, although you say your network is for showing the whole story, not bringing a biased attitude, that has almost become synonymous now with the right.
The interesting thing for me is it's just seeing the realignment of parties. So I'm obviously younger than you, Sevan, but when I was in my teens, the Iraq war was like a big thing for us in my teens. And I just remember watching just everyone, including the New York Times, just kind of push this pro-war agenda. And the reason why I think a lot of millennials like myself are just against this because now we see the BS with Ukraine. But now a lot of people still don't see that. If you watch anything liberal like MSNBC, CNN, they are on the pro-war front. And if you don't support the Ukraine war, it's almost like you're the Nazi. Mitch McConnell just did like a press conference yesterday, and he was actually angry at Biden for not sending even more money. And Nikki Haley right now, who's running as a Republican candidate, oh man, she's up in arms about this whole proxy war thing. It's incredible to see, dude.
What do you think about Nikki Haley?
I think that she is running like a Republican back in the 1880s, and I'm sorry, that just doesn't work after Trump anymore. Trump broke the system. You can't run as in like, support Ukraine, blah 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 blah. She's running that really corporate style. One of the big things that that she said that I think just voters are not for. She wants to rise the retirement age. It's like you're not going to get the working class vote like that. And a lot of my liberal friends are like, this chick is crazy. By just that, you get Republicans and Democrats to agree, like, okay, she's too much. The big thing that when I speak with Republican voters, it just makes sense is she's on the forefront of supporting the proxy war. And I think what she doesn't realize, or I think she does realize, she's smart. It's not going to be, if we go to war with Russia over Ukraine, it's not going to be her son or daughters fighting the war. It's going to be our sons and daughters fighting the war. And it's like, I think my generation, after we got lied to with Iraq, we're just done with it. This whole regime change, we could go into another country, topple that government. Nikki Haley, like I said, is just running like an old school Democrat, and that doesn't work. Let's say she becomes like second place with Trump. I mean, I see Trump walking all over in her debates just because
she's not doing well, is she? Jorge, she's not doing well, is she?
No, Vivek Ramaswamy is like way ahead of her. DeSantis obviously still ahead of her. What's interesting, Sevan, that I thought was interesting is a lot of my liberal friends like would DM me and say, out of all the Republican candidates, Nikki Haley's the one I'm looking at. I'm like, how are you supporting the pro-war candidate. I mean, it doesn't work. Mike Pence still is running like an
She
old
talks
school
that
guy.
she talks that climate shit too. By the way, I like it that when you talk about your Republican friends, you lower your testosterone levels. You use a higher pitch voice. That's nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's a nice touch. Yeah, that was a nice touch. What stuck with me with her is when they talked about climate change, and they asked some poignant questions. All she says is, "Yes, we need clean air and clean water." And where Vivek is just like, "Yo, motherfuckers, this is a hoax. Yep. It's the wet blanket on the economy. I'm willing to debate it with anyone." And I'm like, damn.
And that's why Vivek is connecting with voters. He right now, if you just look from the outside, he's almost running the campaign that DeSantis should have been running. And this guy's everywhere. He goes on.
But Vivek's too smart. I don't think anyone can do what he's doing. Do you?
No. And to be honest, I'm shocked because anytime you have someone with like no political experience, they don't really know who he is. Obviously, he has like that weird name for Americans. I just been shocked to see how fast he's been able to rise. And this is just a quick story. When I was at the Daily Caller, I actually interviewed him back in 2021 because he released that book, Woke Inc. And I remember just in our conversation, I'm like, this guy's he just brings something different to the table. Obviously, at that time, I had no idea he had presidential aspirations. But even in our conversation, I thought that he brought new ideas, that he would challenge kind of the big corporations. And I think he saw that. And I think Vivek captures kind of like what the populist Republican voter wants. And he's riding that wave. I think he is being smart where like, he's going against Trump, but he's not being critical because he knows that you do need that MAGA base to win, where DeSantis has kind of gone the opposite, where he's kind of attacked that base. And I think now that base is never going to go for you. They just don't trust you. And I think, like, for instance, Vivek is total anti-war. And I think that's where voters are right now. They're at the anti-war movement where Nikki Haley, Mike Pence, Chris Christie, they're still running like the 1980s. Like, they still don't understand that's not the way to run. Even in the way they campaign, pay attention to this. RFK Jr. and Vivek are the only ones going on big podcasts and then connecting with voters that way. Mike Pence is still doing TV interviews. Nikki Haley is still doing TV interviews. Chris Christie goes on CNN and MSNBC. It's like, what do you guys, you guys are not going to get voters by doing it the old school way. That stuff is gone. It's not the 1980s anymore.
I don't think the problem is that when you go on a podcast, you're going to be forced to tell the truth.
Yeah,
probably. There's more, or more. At least it's more likely. Yeah,
is they'll grab those truths and then clip them up, and then that's how they attack you. So like Vivek right now is getting attacked with like, you don't support Israel? How come you don't support Israel and funding them? And so that's like the lane that they take. But I still think these guys are beating out. I think RFK Jr. is running a very interesting campaign because he's almost hitting every issue. I think he did a really good job where he went to Yuma, Arizona. And not only did he do like the border trip like every other candidate, but he did a documentary. I mean, that to me was just something totally different. It was thinking outside of the box. He's also one thing that RFK Jr. is doing right now that not other candidates are doing is he's talking about the economic problems that a lot of Americans are facing. A lot of Americans don't have that one income per household that we did back in the early 2000s or the 90s. So he's connecting with voters just in a kind of in a unique way that we haven't seen before.
I liked it. I liked Vivek on Bill Maher. I thought I felt sorry for Bill Maher. Bill Maher should quit drinking and smoking weed, especially on the air. He got fucked up. But I thought Vivek handled him incredibly well. Did you see that by any chance?
I did see that, and I think and then one thing that I always do is I like to read the comments because the Vivek is actually has an interesting approach because he goes on MSNBC and CNN and goes against obviously the media that will be adversarial to him. And I go in the comments and people just respect the fact that like he's like willing to do that. Other Republicans are not willing to do the CNN, MSNBC because they just know that they'll get challenged. Chris Christie goes on CNN and MSNBC only because they'll be nice to him because he's the anti-Trump Republican. So anytime you get a Republican who's anti-Trump, CNN and MSNBC are going to treat you with kid gloves because it's like, yeah, we're against the same the boogeyman or whatever.
Right. And did you see the interview with Dream Rare and Vivek Ramaswamy? Do you know who Dreamer is?
Yeah, he's actually a good friend of mine. I haven't got to see it, but I actually was just planning to watch it today. But what I am seeing is media outlets. I have already seen a few headlines saying Vivek Ramaswamy joins anti-Semitic YouTuber. I've never heard this guy say anything.
No shit.
Oh yeah, no. So even like if you guys don't know, the Washington Free Beacon, it's like a conservative outlet based in DC. They actually went with that headline, like Vivek Ramaswamy joins anti-Semitic YouTuber. I've never heard the guy say anything anti-Semitic. I think the only thing that Dreamer is really critical of is, why are we sending so much money to Israel when we have problems in our country? I don't know how that's anti-Semitic. It's just an issue that we could debate.
That's complete horseshit.
Dude,
I know him too. I'm friends with him also. It's complete fucking idiocy.
Yeah, I know Dreamer like in person. Like we've we've like spent time and stuff, and it's like, dude, he's not. He has Jewish friends. His only issue is, why are we?
Dude, he might be Jewish for all. I think. Do you know what his real name is?
I know he goes by. I don't know. He goes by Dreamer or Anomaly, and that's how I know.
Do you? Can you see the private chat?
Oh man, I don't know his real name. Does someone
look in the private chat. I just wrote his real name to you. He fucking probably is Jewish.
He might be. But
what a fucking joke. Hey, the interview was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Mad kudos to Dreamer. He had a really short amount of time. Great. Vivek was amazing also. If I had any feedback, I felt like Vivek was answering the questions in a way that Dreamer should have given. There were some nuances I felt like Dreamer was missing where he should have said, thank you for answering that. He was so determined to play gotcha with Vivek, I feel like, that, like if I accused you of something, if I said, Jorge, you stole my car. I see you driving that Honda Accord. That's mine. And you came back and said, no, dude, that you actually sold that to the dealership last month and I bought it from them and you showed me the paperwork and I'd be like, oh yeah, shit, I forgot. Dreamer wouldn't, when Vivek would answer, Dreamer wouldn't be like, okay, good point, and then move on to the next thing. He would just move on to the next thing. And I just felt like, it was great. I'm going to give both of them a 10 out of 10, but Dreamer I just felt a little too abrasive, just a smidge if I had to be critical. I'm dying to get him on and talk to him about it.
I haven't seen the interview, but I will say this just from the outside is huge credit to Vivek for even going on.
Yes.
No candidate on the Republican side would even give Dreamer the time of day because
he would fuck them up too, by the way. Dreamer is sharp as shit. He will fuck someone up.
Yeah. So just huge credit to Vivek for even coming on because you almost have more lose than to gain by going on there because, Dreamer is a super smart guy. Like I said, I know this guy, his research is some of the best in the game. But just huge credit for him for trying something new, going on a YouTuber, knowing that it was going to be critical. But I think Vivek is just trying to break through these kind of new gates and reach out to new voters. I don't know, Sevan, if you got to watch, it was a couple of months ago now. It's when it was through Blaze TV where Tucker Carlson interviews like all the presidential Republican candidates one-on-one, and he just like grilled each one. Oh man, that was amazing.
Yeah, that was amazing. I'm very impressed with what Tucker's doing too. Hey, and look, I just want to say one final thing about Dreamer. Something has happened to his Instagram account. They are fucking with him so hard. There's no way he's stuck at 466. He's been at 466 for over a year, but look at the people whose eye he's getting. Rogan, Roseanne Barr. He's invited to Roseanne Barr's house. He's got Vivek on. Like, people know he's doing it. God, I hope he's making a killing too.
Oh, he has to be. And the good thing with him, man, is he is 100% strictly independent. So people just support him. So he doesn't have an agenda, doesn't have a corporate overlord saying, say this or not. He brings something unique to the table, and he's going to ask, hard questions that a lot of Americans, are thinking about.
Is he an anarchist? What is he? Is he like a, what's his deal?
I don't know, but when from his Twitter, I get the kind of notion that he just hates both sides now.
Yeah,
he hates Trump a lot over the vaccine. Like he just bashes Trump all day.
Why can't he forgive them? Why can't he just be like, okay, like Vivek tried to be like, yeah, I fucked up, and that was nothing. Dreamer wouldn't let him off. It's like, hey, that's not good enough.
Yeah, that's one of the criticisms. A lot of people just tell him to from what I see from his feedback is like, hey man, kind of get over it. But man, this guy's like all gas to the pedal always.
Yeah, he's great. He's great, and he's doing something that I don't see anyone else doing. I don't think he has a peer. The way he analyzes everything, I don't. Do you know anyone else that's like him that's doing what he's doing?
No. He's in this world of his own, in a good way, and he's been that for a while. I connected with him back in 2020 when it was lockdown central and stuff like that. So me and him always kind of did like IG lives here and there. And what I liked about him when I was doing those IG lives is he would be calling out things that were like 3 or 4 months away, and then they would happen. And I'd be like, oh, dude, he was totally right. So I have huge respect for him. He has huge respect for me. He's had me on to discuss border and things like that. He's also a SoCal guy, so he lives, right here in my backyard, basically. So I hope he keeps going. We just need those kind of different voices in this kind of new world of independent media, independent commentators. I think he's necessary to the conversation.
Yeah, I totally agree. And he actually deserves more notoriety. Although, like I said, I see him there with Rogan. And that makes me think that he's getting more and more attention. He's rolling with the right people. He's ascending the ranks, so to speak.
Yeah, he is. And I haven't seen his whole interview with Roseanne Barr, but from the clips I've seen, they're pretty funny. I'm glad Roseanne Barr is just having a lot of fun now.
Did you see Tucker interview the guy who claims he did coke and blew Obama? Have you seen that story? It's been around for a while, but now it's getting traction.
Okay, so I have seen it, and this is my only thing here. I
don't believe it, by the way. I don't know why I don't believe it. I don't have any like.
I'm glad we're kind of on the same boat. This is where I'm at. I like Tucker. With this one, if you're going to interview a guy like that with these accusations, all I'm asking for is some piece of hard evidence. Meaning, like, doesn't have to be anything crazy. Text messages, pictures, just something that I could, boom, piece, just put together. Because the thing about me, I always try to think about like both sides. So like, if this was on the right, where like some guy comes down and was like, I blew Trump and I smoked crack with Trump. Just give me some, like, obviously we wouldn't even believe, but it's like, just give me something to collaborate. And for me, the guy was already sketchy. So it was like,
yeah, I mean, he's flamboyant to the point and eccentric to the point of he seems like a drug addict. I don't remember which rag it was, but you're absolutely right. I think it was the Washington Post said something along the line, and there have been stories talked about regarding Donald Trump having strippers pee on the bed that Obama stayed in at the Ritz-Carlton in Moscow or something like that. And they wrote that and they tried to make that story stick with no evidence. So like, I see exactly what you're saying. It's not cool to bring someone on who says they fucking did coke and blew the president with not even a tiny bit of evidence, right? Not even like a schmidge, nothing.
And then a couple years ago,
the fairy tale.
We had the one, and I forgot the chick's name because she was so crazy, but she was the one who accused that Donald Trump, like, I forget if it was like sexual assault or rape, or even Anderson Cooper had her on, and they had this awkward moment where she was like, "It's a fantasy." And then later we find out she never was even in the same room as Trump, and it's like, see, that's what I mean. It's like you can't just throw these people on. We just all I'm asking for on both sides, give me something to collaborate. That's it. Just something has to match, and if we're not getting that. So I like Tucker. I'm a huge supporter of Tucker. He's had me on his show when he was at Fox. I worked at the Daily Caller. Daily Caller was owned by Tucker, but with this one, man, I don't see anything collaborating, and this guy just doesn't seem like the most trustworthy guy. It just seems like he's kind of, want to get in his 15 minutes of fame.
And he wrote a book. He's selling a book, right?
And he's like selling a book, and it's just like, I need
book on how you blew A book on how you blew the president.
I saw like a tweet was like, I saw a tweet and it was like, imagine your claim to fame is that you blew Obama.
And that is his claim to fame. When the election happens, how will you be reallocated? Do you know do you have a plan for covering the election that maybe doesn't involve necessarily the border or narcotics?
So I think we'll know my plan as we get kind of a bit closer. So basically, when I came onto News Nation, the guy who was doing our border a lot, he's a super good guy, really good reporter. His name is Robert Sherman. He's a super young guy in his 20s. But as soon as I came on, me and Robert was like, "Hey man, I'll let you do the border, and I'll kind of handle the campaign trail," which for me is great. I would love to still be on the campaign trail, following these guys around, but my bread and butter is the border, man. I just breathe it. I know it. I like to take big risks. I like to be in Mexico and all that. So we'll see what that plan is. What I have done is when candidates come down to the border, I'll go down and cover that candidate. So it was like 2 months ago, DeSantis came down to Eagle Pass. I went and covered DeSantis in Eagle Pass. That was pretty interesting. The interesting thing right now, Sevan, so I want to just give you some background is, and this is just I don't have knowing, but it seems like Greg Abbott, the Texas governor, is going to endorse DeSantis. And this is my reason is here. If he was going to endorse Trump, I think he would have already done it already. Right out the gate, Trump's my guy. He built the wall. That's my guy. Tough border policy. He hasn't endorsed a candidate. And one of the reasons is DeSantis, actually a few months ago, I think 4 or 5 months ago now, DeSantis is winning over that kind of Texas politicians by saying, hey guys, I'll send Florida state troopers down to the border to assist you guys on my expense. Don't even worry about it. So when I go to the border now, what's fascinating in Texas is you'll see Texas state troopers, working the border, of course, but down there you see the Florida guys working it and apprehending. And then,
shit.
And I have a good relationship with.
That's amazing. Oh, did I lose you?
Yeah, I have a good relationship with Texas state troopers. So when I've done interviews with the Texas state troopers, I always say, hey guys, do you guys like that DeSantis sent the Florida guys? Like, how are you guys working together? And all I get is positive feedback saying, dude, love that DeSantis sent these guys. We needed them. They're great. Every Texas state trooper's like, these guys are awesome. They're playing a big role. So something's telling me right now that Abbott might be leaning to DeSantis. And then DeSantis could make the argument saying, hey, I'm sending my guys down there to help you guys on my expense. And then, like I said, you speak to Texas law enforcement, they love the help from the Florida guys. So that to me is an interesting kind of element into this. I think if DeSantis never sent Florida state troopers, and it'll be more one-sided. But I was just there 2 weeks ago, and they're still there, full force. And when I interviewed a Florida state trooper, what he told me is that basically these guys are coming down in 2-week cycles. So they'll come down there, stay for 2 weeks, either they'll leave, either another unit will come, and they'll just are rotating in and out, and it's all on Florida's dime. They're not making Abbott pay for it. So you're seeing DeSantis saying, this is going to be my strategy to win over those Texas voters and also maybe get an endorsement from Greg Abbott, which I found fascinating.
Crazy. Any mention of Vivek down there? They okay with the...
Vivek hasn't gone to the border as of my knowledge right now. And so right now in the border towns, his name is basically non-existent just because he hasn't gone down there. Obviously he's not a governor, so he doesn't, he can't send troopers or anything. But I do know the folks in Arizona, for instance, they did appreciate when RFK Jr. went down there. I mean, like I said, he made a whole documentary about it. So it's a big impact when you go. Nikki Haley has gone, but I have not, when I speak with Texas people, no one has said, oh, Nikki Haley would be great. I think she's just being way overlooked. Like I said, DeSantis is the one who kind of is owning that argument in the border because he has his guy physically there. And for voters, you kind of have to see it, right? You always hear politicians say things, but when you see it, you're like, okay, this guy definitely cares.
Hey, in the past, I feel like the Republicans always struggled because they want to talk logic, while the Democrats just do I feel stuff. So like I have friends who are Democrats, and they're like, hey, I just don't trust Vivek. Oh, he seems like a salesman to me. And I'm like, oh shit, that's the way I used to talk 10 years ago. Like nothing of substance. It's like, I feel, I think. Like it used to be like, I don't like Trump's demeanor. Do you know what I mean? Like that, it was always like character assassination. They would never talk facts. Are we in trouble if you want someone like Vivek in the White House because he talks such facts? He's so clear, he's so poignant, and the left just isn't. The fact that he's like, okay, God, country, family, right? He lets you know exactly where he stands. He lets you know exactly where he stands on abortion. Are we in trouble because the Democrats play this game that appeals to the most stupid common denominator? They're just the way they talk. They're just trolling with a giant net, trying to scoop up everything. Like all they care about is winning, as opposed to really depicting what their true goals are. Can anyone win who talks facts and logic in specifics, or is they're fucked?
So what I find interesting is when I speak with Democrat voters, they think Vivek is an extremist, and they go more for the safe candidate. So the safe candidate on the Republican side would be a Chris Christie, a Nikki Haley. They think DeSantis is like the straight boogeyman. Like a lot of them view DeSantis almost worse than Trump because what I hear for them is, oh, he's like Trump but smarter. And the thing with DeSantis is he has a blueprint of Florida, you know. So that's one thing he could always point to. So when I speak with the other side on you know, what are they thinking about Republican candidates, Nikki Haley's like the safe candidate because she supports the Ukraine war. Nikki Haley has come out like staunchly saying Israel needs us, and you know, America needs Israel, whatever.
She spoke woke talk too. She leans on the fact that she's a girl. She spoke woke talk. She's like, she made some woke shit at the convention. She's like, just like what they say about men, and this is what they say about women. Women make decisions, men just talk about it. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and that's a huge see, like that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of my friends are just Democrat voters, like they like those type of statements.
Yeah.
So for them, they like the Chris Christies, they like the Nikki Haleys. The other guys are polling too low to even like mention.
Do they like Chris Christie because he looks like them? Because he got the stomach surgery and yet is still 200 pounds overweight. Is that why they like him? Because he doesn't take personal responsibility and accountability for his eating disorder.
They like Chris Christie because he's he's out of all the candidates, he's the most anti-Trump.
Right.
They do not like and this kind of makes sense, right? If you just look at politics, they look at Mike Pence as a right-wing extremist just because of his views on abortion and they, you know, and things like that. First of all, just on some background, I don't Mike Pence to me might drop out pretty soon. And as I said, I don't know this. And the reason I say is Mike Pence only has one lane, and that's the evangelical Republican voter. And we're living a time now where you're going to need the Latino working class vote. Latinos right now support Trump. It's in the data. This is not my opinion. Just look at Nevada, look at Florida. A lot of Latinos vote for Trump because of working class issues. If I walk the street right now in LA or anywhere, and I say, do you know who Mike Pence is to a Hispanic? They have no idea who Mike Pence is. Mike Pence isn't breaking into Latinos. It's not speaking directly to them where in a way where Trump is. And I think that's a huge win. And I think that's where DeSantis gets a lot of Latino vote in Florida, but you're going to need more than the Latinos in Florida. So I think that's where DeSantis is kind of struggling too, is he's not getting Latinos in other states. So Mike Pence is kind of stuck like in this one lane, and he's running, like I said, like a 1980s candidate. Yesterday, actually, Mike Pence did a town hall. I forgot in what state, but he did a town hall with college voters, and the whole argument was we need to move away from populism and go back to Ronald Reagan Republicans, which that's not where we are no more. The base is still populism. I mean, that's what him and Trump basically won. They won on populism. And Mike Pence is trying to go back to the old school, like, hey, let's go back old school where we're not name calling, we're professional. And what these candidates don't get with social media and everything is Trump broke that system, especially on the right. I'm not speaking for the Democratic side, but on the right, that system's been totally broken.
Latinos vote for Trump because they live in reality and realize it was better with him around.
Yeah. See, when I speak with Latinos, whether it's the border or California or New York, it's economic. They say when Trump was in office, I could afford things. My small business was thriving. Now, when I actually went to Texas like a year ago during the midterms, and all the Latinos there are saying, dude, when he was tougher on the border, things was better. Economic, everything was better. The big thing that turned off Latinos was inflation. When inflation hit under Biden, that one issue flips Latinos easily because most Latinos are working class, small business, and that's where you win. And that's where Trump is still connecting in a way that Mike Pence can't break through. I think DeSantis does great with Latinos in Florida because that's his state where he governed, but outside of Florida, he's not really connected with Latinos. And I think Nikki Haley, like I said, I could walk down the street and I could ask 30 Latinos, do you know who Nikki Haley is? Who? Nikki what? They're just not making that other connection in a way that I think you really need to win that vote. Because the Democrats are going to win the black vote by, overwhelmingly.
God, that's got to change. That's got to fucking change. Fanny Spiegel, yes, small business was thriving. So I feel like this is a large part of my listeners too. This part frustrates me.
And Sevan, I do want to say this. When Trump ran in 2016 and spoke about the border, Trump won a black men vote because a lot of black men in this country want their jobs protected and they feel like illegal immigration undermines them and undermines their wages. So a lot of black men voted for Trump. Black women, let's just be honest here. Black women are never going to go Republican. They go like 90% Democrat. I don't know if you guys ever heard Kanye West when he was running. He said like so many black women vote for Democrats you would have thought Drake was running. Right. They're just not going to go there. But black men vote for Trump because he's tough on the border. And then black men say, hey, if he's tough on the border, that stops illegal immigrants from undermining my wages and protects my job security. So that's where Trump is still connecting. And I think Trump needs to get back to that economic message. It's important to speak about 2020 in the election, and I get it, but economic is really the way to go. And the way that I think about politics is, what would the average trucker go for? Like my dad's a trucker, so if you could hit on anything economic, he's gonna vote for you. That's just the way it is.
So you're basically saying there's two classes of people. Class might not be the right word. In this paradigm you're presenting, there's people who want the government to get out of their way so that they could make money and take care of themselves, and there's people who want the government to help them.
In a way, yes. And the thing that
that's what you're describing. These are black men who want to fucking take care of themselves. Yes. Get the fuck out of my way so I can work. This is you're describing a Latino trucker who wants to get the fuck out of my way so I can make money and put food on my table. And then what you're also saying, unfortunately, about black women, and I know it's completely unfair to categorize them all, is that they want to be taken care of by the government. They don't like the fact that this personal accountability story.
You could say that, but the other thing here too is, Sevan, with the Democrat messaging is, what the Democrats do a lot is democracy is on the line. And a lot, so you're able to win the women like that, but working class people, you could throw that out the window. It's about, can I put food on my table for my family? Can I run my business? Can I pay my workers? And that's the message that wins. So that's why Latinos, from 2016 to 2020, Latinos made a huge shift to the right. Hillary Clinton was not connecting with them. And then, like I said, it was about a year ago, around this time, I went to South Texas to interview Latinos because it was the midterms around that time. And the number one thing Latinos cared about was anything economic. A lot of them saying, hey, with inflation, with Biden in, I can't afford my businesses. I have to let people go. We're struggling. A lot of truckers, dude, gas was too much for a lot of truckers to do business. And then what fell second when I spoke to Latino voters is the culture war stuff. So a lot of them now are not on board with the whole switching sexes. My kid could be a transgender. Like that type of talk doesn't win Latinos. That comes like second or third. But number one was always economic.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what flipped the script for me. I'm not a God person, and because I wasn't a God person, for some reason I poo-pooed the right. Like I shit on them because they were crazy God people. And then I started looking at my own house, and they were doing child genital mutilation. They were forcing kids to have drugs. They have these weird fucking things going on at the libraries. Basically, the men weren't treated like men anymore. They were lower testosterone was better. Pedophilia was starting to become be forced mainstream. And all of a sudden I was like, hey, that God stuff looks good over there. and that's when I started realizing, like, hey, I don't have to be evangelical. I don't have to be a Christian. I don't have to be pro-America. But what I do have to be is I have to be pro-healthy kids, and I need a safe environment, which is pro-America. And so I'm now siding with that side. That's why I jump ship. Not even economic, just to fucking protect the kids. I need a park my kids can hang out in without George Floyd in there with them. And I need people not trying to take them away from me and mutilate their genitalia. I mean, but my economic situation is good. So that's not an issue for me. But those issues, I've become a one issue guy. I love God, country, family now. I'm a fucking full blown yeehaw.
Let me share you a
rifle
quick
rack,
story,
the
bro.
whole thing. Yeah.
Let me share a quick story that I think you'll find interesting, probably could relate to. So back in 2021, when I was with the Daily Caller, there was this whole movement. It was when the Virginia governors were running, right? And Glenn Youngkin was in the race. So and in Virginia, if folks don't remember, Virginia right now is going through this weird thing with the kind of trans issue with kids, because I think it was like a trans, God, it's so hard. It's like a trans boy or something, like raped like a girl or something. So like we
at the school, the one in the school system.
Yeah, this was in Virginia. So Daily Caller sent me over there and say, hey, look at what's going on right now, because we have a gubernatorial race. Just kind of find out. So what I was expecting, me going in, was it's going to be a bunch of like white Republicans kind of leading this charge. I was wrong. I go into Virginia 2021. It's Indian Americans, Chinese Americans, and for folks that don't know, Virginia has a massive Salvadorian population. And Salvadorian parents saying, hey, we were all Democrat voters, but this whole trans kids in the same bathroom, no, we're going Glenn Youngkin. And it was that coalition, believe it or not, that led to Glenn Youngkin's victory in Virginia. So we're seeing this huge shift in this one issue, and it's what we have is white liberals going, no, it's okay for our children to take puberty blockers, and if my son wants to be a girl or my girl feels like a boy, it's okay. And it's the immigrant Indian Americans, Chinese Americans, and the Latino Americans in Virginia said, okay, we were with you, but on this one, we're drawing the line. And many of those, like I was interviewing Salvadorian
like everything else out the window. Who gives a fuck if you're going to rape our kids? Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm out. Right.
So that right there led to Glenn Youngkin's victory as a governor. I forgot who. I don't have the name on the top of his head of his opponent, but what killed his opponent is saying that the government basically should be in charge of the kids and not the parents. And like Glenn Youngkin just ran on that, like he ran ads all over Virginia, and it led to his victory. And that's what we see throughout the country is Latinos, Chinese Americans, Indian Americans, they are not on board with this whole take puberty blockers. If my kid, they're just not there yet on the culture war stuff. So that's where Glenn Youngkin really dug into, and that's ultimately it led to his victory.
Are there still more Democrats there than Republicans in Virginia?
So Virginia is interesting because it's changing a lot, because a lot of the DC elite live in Northern Virginia. So it's making it like into like a purple state. I believe Virginia used to be Republican and now it's turned purple, so it could go D or R. And that's kind of changing the demographics a bit, but Virginia still has a massive Salvadorian population. I'm Salvadorian, so a bunch of like my own family lives in Virginia. But it's those type of issues that led Glenn Youngkin's victory. And I think what's interesting is with white liberals is that's not a winning argument for a lot of these parents. And I think Sevan, I think I've said this on your podcast before, and I'll just say this again. A lot of Latinos, I'm speaking as a Latino, so I know what I'm talking about here. Behind closed doors, majority of them are still not on board with same-sex marriage. Now, in public, they'll say, hey, it's all good, you do you, whatever. Behind closed doors, they're not even on board with same-sex marriage. So if you have a population that is not on board with same-sex marriage yet, how are you going to push the trans puberty blockers on them? It's not going to happen. And let me show you this real quick. Last year, I went to a protest in Anaheim, California, and it was a bunch of parents rallying against puberty blockers. And so on one side of this protest, and I will never forget this scene. On one side of this
Glendale, was that the Armenians?
No. This was in Anaheim, because this was at like some doctor convention thing, and it was like by Disneyland. So I go to cover this protest, and I'm walking in the middle of the street, and on my left hand side you have Black, white, Hispanic, Chinese, Indian, Armenian parents rallying together saying, we don't want puberty blockers for our kids. On the other side, white liberals, purple and blue hair, calling them racist, calling them fascist. And that's where we bigots, are.
Yes.
Yeah, they're the bigots. And the people, the white liberals, like, they didn't even have kids yet. They're like in their early 20s, and they're telling the parents that they're in the wrong.
I always trip on the fact, I imagine someone like getting in their car, driving down to CVS, going down the aisle, purchasing the blue hair dye, buying it, swiping their credit card. They get home, and you're actually going to take the time to do that. I don't fucking understand the world.
My mom is
has blue hair. Has blue hair. Oh, no.
My mom is a regular, working class woman, Salvadorian. She's not always tuned into politics. So she's not tuned in all the time. She might not know all the issues, but you're not going to convince my mom that kids can take puberty blockers, because for her that just doesn't register. And you have to remember, that's how the average voter is. The average voter is not like you and me, bro, where we're tapped into politics. We know what's going on all the time. We know the candidates. The average voter is going to work, putting food on the table, taking their kids to soccer practice. Maybe they'll tune in here and there, but they're busy in their own lives. You're not going to win the average voter with, hey, if your boy feels like a girl, start give him estrogen and start changing this whole thing around. It's really, and I don't know why we don't say it more. It's really like this white liberal issue that they really are making it mainstream when it's really not.
That, by the way, that is what my friends who are Democrats say whenever I bring up the transgender thing or this. They say, "Oh, they agree with me, but they're like, it's not even an issue. Don't believe the media. It's not an issue." Meanwhile, I see it everywhere. I absolutely see it everywhere. It is a fucking issue. It's being pushed on our kids. I've never seen every Starbucks in my town has one token tranny in there. It's like I've never. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I don't know if it got in the water or what. But it's everywhere, and it is being pushed on our kids. And it's
Sevan, if you can you pull this up, because this just happened yesterday. MSNBC interviewed a trans woman. I believe she got like kicked out of a sorority or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But when I was watching the interview, the anchor was like taking the trans woman's position, saying, "You are so brave because you're like the first to do this, and you need like trailblazers." And it's like, dude,
did you see the whole story about how he would have an erection in the sorority meetings?
Dude, insane. Like, yeah, like what I'm saying, and what I'm saying is the public is not there. Like, it's almost like NBC is taking this like the coastal white liberal elites and what they want, and they ignore what like the working class is. Oh, there it is.
Let me also say this. Let me throw this out there, since you made the comment about not accepting gay marriage in certain communities publicly. I also, the lesbian and gay people I know want nothing to do with the BTQ.
Yeah.
Nothing. I don't know one fucking lesbian or gay dude who wants that flag or these people representing them at all. They don't have any affiliation with them. They don't feel part of that community. I just saw recently, have you seen that video going around, the lady who got kicked out of the gay bar?
No.
Have you seen this? The gay bartender wouldn't use her pronoun, refused to use her they pronoun. and kicked her out. And she's saying she's attacking the gays for being straight or being white. She goes back and forth between calling them white straight men and gay men. I mean, it's a gay bar with all gay men in it, right? But she's pissed because they won't call her they. And they kicked her out. They told her, get the fuck out of here. We don't do the pronoun game in here. And yeah, I don't think the lesbians and gays want anything to do with these fucking these people who are dragging in their mental issues into the lesbian gay scene. Do you find that true also?
Yeah, dude, I have a bunch of gay friends and they just like hate this stuff because it's like
hate it.
They hate it because it's like why put that cloud on us? They're like, we're just regular folks. Leave us alone. We are not trying to get into this whole issue. And like I said, it's just not a winning issue. I know MSNBC and CNN are always going to take the try to feel bad, but it's just not a winning issue, especially when we get to the women's sports aspect as well. I mean, if you had a daughter, do you want her in the locker room with
no
trans woman that can get a boner?
Hey, I don't trust men at all.
Yeah, me neither.
Men are to be men between the age of 15 and 35 need to be kept busy at all times. They should be working jobs for news agencies on the border. I've had you on longer than I wanted to, but you brought something up that I if you have, do you have a couple more minutes?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I didn't plan on bringing this up to you, but you mentioned it. Now I'm excited to talk to you about it. Do you know this guy? I'm trying to become friends with this guy. We have him scheduled to come on the show, but I'm actually going to go to San Francisco. I want to film with him. Do you follow this guy's account, Richie Lee Wynn?
Okay, so I don't know him, but I know some of my reporter friends who've connected with him when they go to San Fran. This guy, from what I know, I don't know a whole lot, but it seems like he is doing a good job of documenting the reality of San Fran. And I think the one video that I first saw from that went viral is it was a school bus and there was a bunch of kids coming out of the school bus and he's filming it selfie cam style. And these kids are like literally walking over people that are, might be dead and are like smoking fentanyl in front of these kids.
Yeah. It's look at him. He even made it on fucking a big shout out to the real Jason Whitlock. Wow. Oh, Jason Whitlock's on Blaze. I didn't know that.
Yeah. He's on Blaze TV.
Wow. This guy's great. And I'm watching what's going on in Oakland, and I see crime happening in all my old stomping grounds, like right by the airport. It's crazy. What are you hearing about Oakland, and are you actually going to go there and cover that? How exciting.
Yeah, so we're working on a trip to Oakland. So kind of to give you the synopsis, what I find about Oakland interesting is the progressives in Oakland voted in District Attorney Pamela Price. The crime in Oakland is so insane right now. I highly encourage your listeners to try to pay attention. Businesses are closing down. People left and right are getting they call it bipping in Oakland, where you do the smash and grab. Grabs left or right, shootings left or right. It's insane. I'm not even. You can't even comprehend.
Dude, the videos, I show the videos on this show all the time. Just people pull up to gas stations, they're pumping gas, and someone just steals their shit. It's nuts.
If you call 911 in Oakland, they'll put you on hold for an hour. Sometimes they don't even come. The mayor is horrible on this issue of crime. I was just reading a local story. I don't know if you could pull it up. Seven, where like a youth football team had to move practice fields because there was too many shootings where they were practicing football. And then what I find interesting is right now there's an official recall for the DA Price. And the recall is not being led by right-wingers or Republican voters. The recall is being led by Democrat voters. And that, to me, is crazy.
Madam De Palma Price, is that her? Alameda County?
Yeah, Pamela Price. DA.
Okay. Yeah, California keeps electing progressive DAs. Oh yeah, she fits the mold. Wow. God.
See really quick, bro. If you could just find the story, it's a youth football team. They had a
in what city?
It's Oakland. I mean I don't know the exact little town, but I remember it was saying that like an Oakland football youth team has to move. They're looking for like a new field because there's so many shootings. It's incredible stuff.
Yeah, gun violence forces Oakland youth football team to look for new field to play on.
Boom. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's Oakland. It is Oakland. Yep.
Come on.
Bancroft Avenue. I know exactly where that is. Crazy.
So I've been speaking with a lot of and folks, it was like the NSACP or they like wrote a letter and was like, we need to declare a national emergency. Defund the police movement did not work. We need police back in working class communities. It's incredible. I'm telling you right now, if for your viewers, pay attention to Oakland right now. You're literally seeing a city just become almost unlivable for anyone working class. So I've been speaking to a lot of their folks. Like I said, the people who are leading the recall, they're not Republicans. They're not like right wingers. They're Democrat voters, and they are sick of now the progressive side, and they are really leading this recall. And I've been in touch with them almost every day. It's going to be a fascinating story to unfold. Oh yeah, this just happened too.
7-Eleven just hours after the store was looted for $10,000 worth of products in Oakland. Oh yeah, everything's getting looted there,
dude.
Everything
and
is.
These are like
daily
there. Stories. It's not like once a month in Oakland. I mean, that's what it's becoming. I mean, geez.
Look at this. Look at this group of thugs,
dude. And the weaponry, dude.
Wow. Hey, it's straight the purge, dude.
Sevan, I don't know if you could bring this one up too. CNN reporter went to Oakland to cover the crime, and then their car got smashed and grabbed.
Oh no shit! Is that in the Oakland State of Mind Instagram account?
I don't know if it is, but I read an article about it about like a week ago or two.
Hey, just so people know, also, I want to say it was in Alameda County, a Home Depot security guard actually tried to stop someone, I think, from stealing, and they were fucking killed. The Home Depot guard. And meanwhile, other security guards are getting arrested or losing their jobs for trying to stop people from stealing. I want to look that up real quick. CNN, that was in Oakland, CNN.
In Oakland, I believe.
Oakland reporter robbery.
Oakland or San Fran, but I'm pretty sure it was Oakland.
Oh, shit. A CNN reporter burglarized a third time. While covering rampant crime in the Bay Area,
dude. It's incredible. And once again, just to remind everyone, it's working class 9 to 5 people who are impacted by this, not people that live behind the Golden Gates or could hire private security. The very rich. This is everyday people. Yeah, dude, it's I mean, I think there was like a video yesterday where like a bunch of tourists went to like the beach or something in San Fran, just for 10 minutes, come back, all of their windows smashed and grabbed, passports taken, and now like they can't even leave. It's really sad what's happening to the Bay Area in general.
RB Pleasanton was the Home Depot. Okay.
Oh wow.
Which is a nice part of the Bay Area. The Home Depots are just targets for crime. What you said also is I've actually seen footage of people. I saw a video the other day of someone getting onto the freeway, and on the on-ramp, there was bumper-to-bumper traffic, and someone pulled up next to them. They jumped out of the car, broke the window, and stole the luggage while the ar was getting on the freeway.
Really quick, this will be the last one I tell you to pull up, but it's
fine.
It kind of touched me. There was a shooting in Oakland on a freeway, and a stray bullet hit an 8-year-old, and now he's paralyzed, dude. Like, this is not fair for. Like, I just feel bad for that kid, man, because it's like it's totally not even his fault, and it's the adults who have to.
Was this at Highland Park? Is this in 2022 or recently?
This one was recently. It was in this 8-year-old. Just maybe put like 8-year-old paralyzed Oakland, but it's so sad, dude. It's there was a shooting like on I believe like an Oakland highway, Oakland freeway, and then a straight bullet hits him in the neck, dude. I mean, come on, man. This stuff just if this doesn't piss you off, like, come on, man.
So this is what I have to ask you before I let you go. 8-year-old shot on Oakland freeway, paralyzed family.
Jeez, dude. That come on, man.
Yeah, 580 near Grand Avenue, Oakland. There it is. Fuck.
So messed up, dude.
If you vote Republican, does this go away?
I mean, the general consensus is it. You would imagine yes, because they would. The Republicans. I mean,
No
just
one's
look at
listening.
policy.
It's just me and you, Jorge. If you vote Republican, does this go away?
Well, look, this is how I'll say it is. If you look at policies between the parties, one party is being soft on crime. You could tell by their DAs. The other party is being tougher on crime. So just common sense would say, if you want stuff like this changed, you need a Republican DA to just bring down the hammer.
And then once we get society back, then we can argue about gay marriage again. But if we have crime running rampant in the streets, we can't even argue about fun topics like that.
No, and I will say this: like the new DA in San Francisco, Brooke Jenkins, like she's been totally more aggressive on crime, and then what she says is like they're putting down felony narcotic charges and stuff like that, but she puts the blame on a lot of the local court judges who are just letting these people go again. So the whole system needs to change, the whole legal system. I will say this: even Gavin Newsom has been angry about the legal system because he wants tougher crime now for the very first time. So you just need that approach. Like the system now in the culture is, I could go rob you, I could go assault you, and I'm out the next day. It's a slap on the wrist. That needs to change, and it's obvious of the results. You don't need to be even like a political person to even know that. The system's just broken, and you don't have you go to Miami. You don't go to Miami and people are smashing, grabbing windows, and it just needs to change. So it's so if you live in these cities, you're going to go the opposite way. So if I'm a Democrat strategist, I go, hey guys, we're like really losing the battle here, and like I said, the DA in Oakland was voted by progressive voters. Well, guess who's leading the recall? Democrat voters. San Francisco's previous DA, Boudin, or how do I pronounce his name? You know who led that recall? It was Asian Americans who voted Democrat, because it was the Asians who are getting attacked on the street. Their businesses are robbed every day. So it's getting pretty clear. Obviously, here as a journalist, I gotta say as non-biased as I can. But I'm just looking at the facts here. We're looking at it. I'm in LA County.
Hey, by the way, the Asian hate thing is complete bullshit too. Really, it's just that it's just crime. It's just crime in general. It has nothing to do with being Asian. It's just crime in general. Yes, maybe people are targeting Asians because they think that they're small, or that they're weak, or that they carry cash, or that they carry. But it has nothing to do with the fact that they have slanty eyes and that they're from fucking a foreign land. People need to stop doing that. It's the same thing with yes, the majority of people robbing people are black. It has nothing to do with their skin color. It's a cultural phenomenon. It has nothing to do with, no one's born black and then they're predisposed to fucking rob. And if you want to blame it on anyone, blame it on the penis and balls, which are very important. But it's men doing this shit. It's not. I just get so tired of the fucking whole Asian hate thing was completely fucking ridiculous.
And the thing right now is the way that, and maybe this maybe starts right back to the family. And the reason why I say it is because the way that we grew up is, I remember when I was a kid, I stole a candy bar from a store one time, and then my dad and mom found out. My dad just beat the shit out of me, and then you don't do it again. And
then you have to take it back.
Yeah.
To the store manager and apologize. Yeah.
And they made you take it back, and it just made an example. And it seems like these young kids who are committing all these crimes, there's no accountability from family. Sevan, you did that great job of connecting me with Tommy G. And I remember watching Tommy G's video in Milwaukee. It's these young teens, the Kia boys, stealing cars, ramming them into, whatever, joyriding, crashing cars, stealing working class people's cars. And they're just not, they're not afraid of the law. Maybe they don't have a father figure at home to beat the crap out of them. Right now in DC, believe it or not, because I've been paying attention to all these crime cities, but DC right now is the #1 city in carjackings. And it's not really 23-year-olds and 24-year-olds doing them. It's 19, 18, 16. It's it's also, I mean, maybe we just have a system here in America now where the family system has been completely broken, and it's a free for all. It's just incredible to see, and I don't know, man. Like I said, I was raised where I would steal a candy bar. My dad would just go crazy on me. Um, and maybe we need to bring that back. I
Yes.
really don't
Yes.
know.
Yes. Hey, thanks for coming on. You're always welcome on the show. Such an honor to have you. I know the people who follow the podcast love having you on. And please stay in touch if there's ever anything I can do. You're the man, Jorge.
Thanks, brother. Let's definitely talk soon, brother.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Jorge Ventura. Wow, 2 hours and 10 minutes. I wanted to respond to something you said, Clock. I was born in Oakland. I own property down in that area. I lived there for fucking 30 or 40 years. I understand that the whole city is not Oakland. The whole state is not Oakland. But Oakland, Los Angeles, Sacramento, San Jose, San Francisco, Richmond, Berkeley. I mean, there's a whole slew of these cities that are following it in step with this. Yeah, I just drove 300 miles through the center of the state, and it's the most beautiful land you've ever seen. Paso Robles, just all that coastline, and then the wine country and the agriculture. I get it. It's beautiful. It's good. Not everywhere's like Oakland, but man, Oakland is a war zone. Fair enough. If a single Republican DA tried to turn it around in Oakland, the California Attorney General's office would start throwing up roadblocks. Yeah, Target's not even a real store anymore from the pictures I've seen. Targets in California are... I wouldn't go in there. There's an Asian hate, but it's not coming from the whites. By that, I'm okay. Okay, fair enough. We shall discuss later. Adam of Vancouver, Sevan, you are suggesting that Democrat voters in these cities are sane and will change their vote. Crime is not bad enough yet. NYC, back in the 80s, it took 2,000 deaths a year for nearly a decade before change. God, do you remember how good New York got for a while, too? There was like 10 or 15 years where New York was amazingly safe. All right. I'd like to finish the show with something from David, but we have nothing. Oh, I turned my phone off. That guy, whoever that was, called like 100 times. I turned off call waiting too. Take that. Hey, what was up with my connection? Was my connection acting weird? I saw Riley told me it was me who froze. By the way, thanks for telling me that stuff's helpful in the comments. That stuff is helpful. Well, that turned out to be a great show. Call Graciano back. I think we got the gist of it. Oh, well, thank you. Holy shit. You got some good mushrooms, David? All right. I'm excited about today. I'm supposed to be, right now, I'm supposed to be doing a watch of the screening of behind the scenes. I've got to get my note situation figured out. This is just getting crazy. I know Mike Sauer told me I should be using Google Doc. I don't know really how to do that. What do I open? I don't even know how to do that. I need to have like something on the cover. How would I need something on my desktop where I can click it and open it easy, but it also syncs to my phone. How the fuck do I do that? You didn't get the gist of it. You cut him off right before the peak. I did? Really? I thought I did get the gist of it. Give me 1 second, Mr. Salty Beaver. Hold on, Salty Beaver. We're gonna get the Salty Hive CrossFit. I need more affiliate owners on here. What am I doing? I've finally accepted the Hey, You're younger and more buff than I imagined.
What's up? What's up?
Hey, you're younger and more buff than I imagined. From your picture, I thought you were like old and shit. Like, you know who you look like in your profile picture? You know Israel Adesanya's coach? Kind of chubby bearded guy out of New Zealand. You don't know anyway. I forget his name, but that's what I thought you were going to look like. I didn't know you were going to be all like look like a stud.
Yeah, it was cool to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you too.
The girls that I were with were laughing that you were like, he was with some three hot chicks. One of them was my wife.
Oh, good. I'm glad I was with 3 hot chicks. Yeah. Even if one of them was your wife, I'll take it.
No, I was with 3 hot chicks. And you were saying that.
Oh, I kept saying that. Oh, okay.
Yo, we're headed out to the NCC right now. We're driving.
Oh.
My wife and I. Are you going to go?
I don't think I'm going, but a bunch of people are going. I was bugging Dave if Dave was going to go. I was thinking about getting a ride with him. I think I heard Jorge Fernandez is going. Hiller told me yesterday he was going. I think he told me before, but I was blocking it out of my mind. Because if I feel like he's there, then I should go say hi to him and hang out with him. Why are you going?
Yeah, my wife's competing in the elite division.
Oh, shit. Wow. Why is she doing that?
Because she loves it.
Wow.
That's what we do.
Wow.
Yo, you've got us freaked out. We're like staying in Sacramento. I feel like I'm gonna get
No. You're good. No, you're good. Ben Alderman.
We're coming from the beautiful, safe state of Utah. I don't have to lock my doors. Everyone loves everybody. God-fearing American people.
Sacramento crime. I just typed it into Google. Let me see. Sacramento crime news. No, it looks good.
All right.
Yeah, dude was shot in a park, but he probably deserved it. Yeah, no, you're good.
But yeah, you should. Dave said he was coming on Friday on his weekend review.
Oh, he did?
I think so. Yeah, if I remember right.
That's tomorrow.
Yeah, it starts. That's when it starts. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think he said he was going to stop it on Friday. I'm sure there's going to be tons of Sevanistas there. You should come through.
I should. Hey, how are you doing? How's the gym?
It's awesome. Everything's good.
When you go to the games, does that invigorate you? When you go back, are you pumped, or are you tired, or do you come back invigorated and like, yeah, let's get some?
100% invigorated, like you say. Every day. The community vibe. I think just rubbing shoulders with like-minded people. All the seminar staff out there and other affiliate owners, the affiliate lounge, meeting people, and just people that are excited about CrossFit, whether it's the sport of things or what we're doing in the affiliates or Don's leadership or Dave being back. It's just kind of it's refreshing to see that you're not the only one that gives a shit, and everybody at the game gives a shit about CrossFit.
Yeah. There's a comment in here to brace yourself. It's pretty aggressive. It's from Christian. He says, Utah's just a bunch of soaking Mormons. It's probably true too.
Well, like you say, I'll take the Mormon as my neighbor because they're gonna be their head screwed on pretty straight, and they love their kids and they're about family, and I don't really care what they do, soaking or not.
It's funny you say that. I heard Trump say something like he preferred a Jew accountant over a black accountant, and I think that's totally fair. But I heard Greg say that Greg didn't care what color his accountant was, but he wanted a Mormon accountant because he always from Utah, because he always respected the way the Mormon church managed their money. And he got one. Yeah, his CFO of CrossFit was a fucking Mormon dude with fucking 6 or 7 kids, straight laced as you fucking get.
Sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that church is one of the fastest growing businesses ever in human history.
And I think the CFO for CrossFit, not only was he Mormon, but I think he was, how like they have their neighborhoods there have like those, like each of them has their own, like, I don't know what you guys call them. You probably know better than I do, but they have their own groups, and each group has its own.
Yeah, it's a ward. It's called a ward.
Yeah. So this guy, I think, was the accountant for his ward. The guy who was the CFO of CrossFit.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, those are all little. It's like pretty small. Like there's a ward every block in certain areas in Utah. But yeah, we live in a pretty good spot. It's near the city, so we still have plenty of like non-Mormon, I don't know, fun people, but it's also very safe. So I like the safe part.
Can you hear this sound? Listen to this. Listen. Could you hear that?
Yeah, it sounded like you were clapping. Or snapping, maybe.
I got this knife. Someone pointed out that it's probably not legal in California. That's true. But I'm like moving a bunch of stuff around in my office. And you know when you open a drawer and you find an old toy?
Yeah.
So I found this killer knife. Greg got
you
me.
Totally, you completely forgot about it, and it's like you just got it brand new again.
Yeah. It's so fucking cool. It's like a little boy's wet dream, this knife. It is so fucking nice. And you just push a button and it shoots out and like it would stick into someone. It's not like a cheap one. You know what I think? It's
when are you going to have
someone, or something?
When are you going to have someone at the studio?
Soon. I actually called Dave yesterday and asked him if he would come next week to test it out. Sousa's coming Sunday. There are some. It's technically there's just so much fucking shit going on. There's so many cameras and wires and lights, and it's like it's a lot. And so I'm trying to do that every night, spend a couple hours in here, and I'm trying to do the behind the scenes, and I'm trying to be a dad. And, well, I'm not trying. The dad part takes priority over everything, and then the podcast. So I got my excuses.
Where's the behind the scenes at? How soon? It says coming soon, but what does soon mean?
I think in 2023.
That was my guess.
Yeah,
I got a guy that helps me with my media. He follows you pretty close, and he's like, Sevan's saying soon. I'm like, I guess November, December-ish.
I'm actually surprised. Episode 1 is like the rough cut. I started watching it last night, and I was actually surprised the people putting it together got it done that fast. It's fucking long. It's gonna be crazy. They did tell me
how many episodes?
Like, I don't know. Probably like I'm guessing between 10 and 20. They're tripping. They're like, holy fuck, you're a workhorse. And I was like, yeah, tell me about it. They were like, it's so much footage. I was so proud. It's like pulling down your pants and someone's like, God, that's a lot of cock.
You're like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, thank you. It's too much. Well, that's fine. It's fine.
All right, man. Well, thanks for taking my call. Come through the NCC.
Okay, have
fun. I got the CEO
Awesome.
CEO visor.
Okay, call us and give us tell us how your wife did when it's all over, when you're driving home.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay, brother. Bye, Justin.
See.
Bye. Peace. All right, that was cool. Just doing my part, talking to some affiliates. All right. I'm looking through the comments. This knife looks cheap. It does? I'm telling you, it's not. It's fucking nasty. Come in. Oh. Yes? What's your name? Officer what? Mr. Graciano.
What's up, Sevan? I learned Russian, so I guess I could tell a full story.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, I left off. They gave me a third BS answer. Now, after this one, I realized, these people are just going to keep lying to me. So I then decide, hey, I got to go to the city council meetings. Like, this isn't something that can be done through email because they're just going to keep giving me the runaround. So when I brought up the whole nonprofit thing and the way that they gave it to a nonprofit that didn't have an economic impact, well, it wasn't just that they didn't follow their own guidelines, it's that that's illegal. So in the regulations for who they can give money to, they're allowed to give it to nonprofits, but they can only give it to 501c3 and 501c19 nonprofits. 501c3s are better known as charities. 501c19s are veteran organizations. The nonprofits they gave it to were 501c8s and 501c6s. The 501c8s are member benefit societies. So that's like your Elks Lodge, where they do charitable work, but the primary purpose of the organization is for the members. And then a 501c6 is your local chamber of commerce.
Oh, shit.
So they're giving money to the chamber of commerce, which for them to go promote businesses rather than actually give it to the businesses, which doesn't make any sense. Of course, they had the chamber of commerce had less revenue. There was no businesses to promote.
Right. And was the chamber of commerce fighting with the city trying to get the businesses to reopen? No, probably not.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
They were telling everyone to go shop. They put them in little tiny font. Hey, shop local. But be safe. Be really safe. Make sure you do all your precautions.
Are they ramping that shit up again?
No, this has kind of died out over here. But in those treasury regulations, it's very clear cut. You cannot give money to 501c6s or 501c8s for any reason. They are ineligible for that COVID money. So I go to the city council meeting and say, hey, besides the fact that what you guys did is immoral, it's also illegal. You cannot give them money. And I stuck with that to beat them over the head with it because they have to correct that one.
Yeah, what are they going to do? They can ask for the money back?
Oh, no, the money's already been spent. They've already taken that money and painted their building with it. And now the city is trying to come up with all these excuses and they're trying to delay having to report this information to the public. And they're trying to make up some nonsense of, oh, well, they do a lot of good in the community and, they really help out. Well, it doesn't matter. They're not allowed to receive that money.
Hey, why don't they just say sorry?
Oh, no, they doubled and tripled down on it. They basically just, they keep giving me the runaround. And I haven't publicly beat them over it because I actually haven't seen 100% of the rules on who it can go to. But the very first check out of the program was to a city councilman.
Of course.
And that check was for the maximum grant award. And his business didn't even have a physical location in March of 2020.
Dude, what's his business?
It's a barbecue joint.
He got money for a barbecue joint that didn't have a physical location.
Yeah, it gets better than that. He had a pull-behind barbecue trailer that he went and parked outside of the hospital to feed all of the travel nurses and everyone else in town. Now, a restaurant went under, and they closed down in June of. They closed down in June of 2020. So what does he do? He takes all that money he made because he was already remote and ready to go, and he swoops in June when this other restaurant goes under, and takes their location over, obviously for a great deal because no one else is going to start a new lease in June of 2020. Then he operates there for, let's see, that would be a little over 2 years. Then he gets this extra money from the city for all of his sacrifice during COVID and his hard times, uses that money to move downtown at a new location. So they weren't even giving him the money for the renovations he had to make at that restaurant. That was to go into an entirely new location.
What was this guy's role again with the city? Was he a city councilman?
Yeah, he's a city councilman.
Is he sitting there when you're talking about this?
Yeah.
Weren't you afraid he's going to come over and beat you up?
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Is he embarrassed?
I can't tell you how they feel. You know, the corruption in this town runs so deep that they think I'm the crazy one. Like, hey, this is just how we do stuff around here.
Right. Right.
Like, oh, what are you talking about? That's part of the perks of being a city councilman.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Then there was, and this is a deeper issue, but
one more quick
the
question.
amount of
Who
money
decides where the money? Who ended up deciding where the money? Could you look at the three people and be like, "You're the three people who decided where the money goes"? Like, can you see them?
Oh, this is way better. So the finance department with the community and economic development director decides ultimately who gets the money. Well, our finance director is contracted. The previous finance director resigned. They brought this guy in. He's been there for 14 months, which, you know, if we get into the tax, regulations, that's no longer temporary. That's a permanent position. So they keep calling him the interim finance director, even though he's, there permanently.
And you would get fined if you ran a business where you kept someone on like that as a contractor in the state of California, is what Graciano's saying, by the way. For people who don't know, it's so fucked up. Go on.
Yeah, the other aspect that I'm saying is that for him personally, if you're at a location for more than 12 months, you're no longer there temporary.
Right.
And so you can no longer deduct all of your travel expenses.
Okay.
So
okay.
I'm sure the city is paying him for his time traveling, for any meals and other shit that he's got when he has to travel, but that's not allowed because he's been there for 14 months. Right. You guys are ignoring all of the applications that have come in for a permanent finance director because you like what this guy's doing.
Right.
So originally, I look at the city has their check register. I see these checks pop up written to this guy's name. And I go, 30 grand, holy shit. And I go, well, I don't know how much money, how many months that is or what they're getting paid. But I see another one pop up. And what pissed me off is that when I checked in on my application during this whole process, they gave me this excuse about how, well, the finance director is only here part-time right now, and he's not in the office today. So they delayed my application, asked me for all this extra shit they didn't ask from other people. And then at the end of it, I go, hold on. You know what? I'm going to look this guy's contract up because I see these $30,000 checks being written in his personal name, and that's part-time work. Who the hell's making 30 grand a month for part-time work? So I pull up the contract. It's supposed to be for $15,000 a month. Now I'm looking at the contract saying, God damn, this guy's making 30 grand, double the amount. Do you guys not check this stuff? And there's a couple things that pop up on this contract. Number one, the contract is written to an LLC, not to him personally as a sole proprietor, which no financial professional would ever operate as a sole proprietor. So I'm looking at it saying, hey, why aren't the checks written to the LLC? That doesn't make sense. Then I'm going through it and I say, hey, why is his personal email on here as part of this contract and the proposal? This guy doesn't have a professional email like his name at thecompany.com. And I go, wait a second, does this company exist? So I go to the California Secretary of State website and look up the LLC. That LLC has been inactive for 12 years.
Oh, shit.
So the person that's ultimately in charge of all the city's finances, from what it looks like, doesn't even have an active LLC. He got that contract under the premise of his old LLC that's been inactive for 12 years. So he's not even legally able to do business in the state of California. That's the guy making decisions on the grants and making all the decisions on the city's finances.
What a fucking joke. Hey, who's the guy who gets to decide where the money goes? Did you get to see that guy? Like the 3 or 4 people?
Yeah, it's that guy specifically.
Oh, it's him. Just him by himself?
Yeah.
He's
him.
Wow.
He's got the ultimate say on it.
Wow.
So that's the whole thing wrapped up a little bit. There's some more details, but
what ends up happening? How is there a closure to this, or no? It's just you just threw a hand grenade.
Oh,
around
no.
And then they scramble around and recover.
They've been trying to delay and come up with all these excuses of why they can't provide a report at the city council meeting and say, hey, this is how we decided, and this is who got money. So at the last meeting, they said, well, we will put that report out in 3 months. You know, we have a reporting period. So businesses have to tell us, you know, what they spent the money on and comply with all of the requirements of the program. And then we'll be able to give a comprehensive report saying, hey, this is a full rundown of the program. So they're stalling, and they've been stalling for 3 months now.
Would you ever run for mayor?
And I'm not allowed to because I don't live within the city limits. So they're stalling on it. And at this last meeting, I said, hey, you guys said that within the next month, you're going to send out a letter saying, you know, asking businesses to comply with these reporting requirements. Well, it's been over a month and I haven't got that letter yet. So you guys aren't going to come out with a report in 2 months like you said you would. You guys are going to say, hey, you know, you're going to blame the businesses, say that, well, you know, these guys didn't get us that information on time. And you're just going to try to stall forever because you don't have the balls to come out in front of the public and say that a councilman got the first check for the max amount and we screwed everyone else. So the end game of this whole thing, and we haven't gotten there yet because I know it takes some time for people to digest all the info, and they're gonna keep giving me the runaround, is that they used specific loopholes in the rules to approve their buddies' applications, but they never published it for the public to see.
The rules?
So, right. So there's a loophole within those rules that basically, if you're in a low-income neighborhood, they can give you money, no questions asked. You don't have to show your tax returns. You don't have to show that you were impacted by COVID. They can just say, hey, they're within a qualified census tract and they've been historically disadvantaged, so we can give them money to invest in the community to be better prepared for the next pandemic. That's how the government rules are written. So that's the loophole they used for all their buddies. Now, they have a ton of Mexican businesses downtown, and they always find ways to jack up those tax rates, squeeze money out of them, but then the money never flows back to those Mexican businesses. It always flows to the same people. So the longer term play is, hey, you guys are guilty of discrimination unless you open the program back up and let everybody apply with those same loopholes you used for your friends. Because they still have a few $1 million to spend, and they're going to blow it on all kinds of dumb stuff. And so that's the ultimate goal of this, is once everyone figures out, hey, this is what's happening, and I squeeze them by the balls long enough that they're going to have to admit it, then to come back for the rest of those few $1 million or bring them to all those businesses that they've been screwing over for years.
Well, keep us posted. I'm curious how this ends. Thank you for doing all this. It's cool. Seems tedious, but cool.
Yeah, they think they can stall and wait me out, but they made it personal. They made it personal back in 2020 when they told everyone that they were going to look the other way, and they continually sent code enforcement out to harass us, even though we were following every single regulation that California put out there. And they just kept sending code enforcement out to fuck with us. So right from then, I've had a bone to pick for 3 years. And I'm not letting it go.
I love it, dude. Yeah. All right. Thank you for calling in. Hey, that was really cool of you to call in and give us the details.
All right. Thanks, Sevan.
Okay, bye. Steph. Hi. I'm at the passport part. One time I was crying at the airport because we were leaving my dad and we got pulled aside to make sure nothing was happening to me. Yeah. Mind your own fucking business. At one point, the guy at the post office told, like, jokingly said to the kids, "Is your dad nice to you?" The kids are like, "No, he throws tennis balls at us as hard as he can." I played that game in the garage yesterday with the boys. It's so funny. I'm like, "Okay, who wants to come in here and get hit with tennis balls?" They're like, me. We play this game. I throw balls at them. They catch them. It's crazy. Just ratchet it up slowly. Next thing you know, you're humming balls at a 6-year-old, and he's like, bam. Number 78 from the Tao Te Ching. Nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water. Yet for dissolving the hard and inflexible, nothing can surpass it. The soft overcomes the hard. The gentle overcomes the rigid. Everyone knows this is true, but few can put it into practice. Therefore, the master remains serene in the midst of sorrow. Evil cannot enter his heart because he has given up helping his people's greatest help. True words seem paradoxical. Love you guys. I think is today Thursday? Shut Up and Scribbles on. I think Taylor's going to be extremely vulnerable today on the show. JR Howell will be there. Ooh, JR, do I have good news for you? I got a black magic box, which is going to let me shift from high quality camera to high quality camera to high quality camera to high quality camera at the Crash Crucible, which is coming up very quickly here. Myself and Brian Friend, the best in the business, will be commentating it. And we will have Andrew Hiller and Matthew Souza with feet on the ground. It's going to be nuts, dude. I'm telling you, this is going to be a Zelos Games Improved 2.0. Why does it have to be black magic? I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe it's because the box is black. I don't know. I wonder if they sell a white one. You could get the white magic. It's a great question. I'll send them a. I'll send them an interest, a request of inquiry, Yeah.